hanging from a thread till you dead. Cause your partner put a price on your head. Cause your chick was laying up in his bed. She getting details, spilling every word that you said. She working retail, thirsty bitch just trying to get ahead. If history tell us anything, y'all both end up dead. It's just a street tale, a fable, some shit someone said. Sit at the table and hope there's more to offer than bread. Pulled out the cradle, first steps you getting chased by a fed. No head starts, just body parts and lead sparks. Old religion, brand new hate and weak hearts. Oligarchs, krakens, dragons, you see sharks. Imagine you could manage to maneuver the deep part. You a savage, you can have it, just show all your teeth sharp. If you could grab it, you could stab it, just aim for the bleeding heart. The ones that show compassion, the soldier that seeks art. Does the artist that wage war take over or take part? Taking a knee, thinking no one faithful is me. I'm good people in bad lands, no evil live within me. I mind mine, I survive, find this lands for the free. If I'm mistaken, I'm forsaken, no one rescuing me. Residual effects, straight bullets through familiar necks. For any number of infractions that I deem disrespect. Your beliefs, you deserve better, but we both in the shit. You just haven't come to grips with it yet. Fight or flight, and they ain't really nowhere to go. If your back is against the wall and you ain't throwing no blows, you gon' crumble in the rubble, become blood in the snow. If you a victim, they collect them, grab the body and go. Dig them and ditch them, total disregard for the soul. Gas them and lit them, watch the flesh burn in the glow. Where we live and catch a shiver, this a hell you don't know. Your best hope is that your dying ain't slow, or your dying's a show. Where we at, it's every man for his own. A bloody backdrop, where killers just zone and slice flesh to the bone. Masked and gloved up front of your home. A flash of gun, but the side of your dome. Fresh blood from a stone, dents in your sense. Kick your fucking ball through the fence, dare you to say something. No sense in sitting around in suspense. Find out what's next, open your fucking mouth, disrespect. See the extent of how my life is intense. She beautiful and oppressed in a permanent summer dress. She a servant and still she blessed. Children cradled against her breast, whispering prayers, wishing their souls the best, knowing that they forgotten, not forgetting they're blessed. The bloodiest red lights, just piles of dead life. Something must be broken, the glyphs wasn't read right. You think them Bible papers will shed light? Yeah, right. Burn after reading, tell the preacher I'm leaving.
We are back on and popping. I am alive and we are live. Salutes to my people. I appreciate y'all being here. I was under the weather, but now I'm a bit back over the weather and we back on and we back popping. Salute to y'all. I appreciate y'all for being here. All right. I appreciate y'all for being here. Little tunes at the beginning real quick. We're going to go through some stuff today. Let's get in the chat real quick. We got in here, PR Black, 030 North and Old Soul. Salutes y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all. Everybody that comes in, wipe your feet. Hit that like button. Let's get it. We're gonna cover a couple of things today that I want to cover. Again, I appreciate y'all for being here. Hope y'all having a good weekend so far. It's not too early for any of your responsibly taking care of vices. It's not too early for none of that right now. It is the last 2 days of the year. 2023 has been it's been an insightful year. For me at least. and looking forward to 2024, man. Trying to make a lot of things happen in 2024. So again, I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate y'all. Y'all been it's been nothing but engagement the whole time that I was sweating and shivering with this flu. A lot of good engagement, a lot of comments. I try to respond to everything I can. Yesterday I only had the energy for one response, and that was to a jerk off in the comments. So I'm sorry, y'all. I had to get him. I had to get him because people say a lot of dumb shit around here. Sometimes people say things just for the sake of saying things, you know. It's like they have to have some sort of power somewhere. So they'll come and be like, you know, yeah, but did you know this? And I'll be like, yeah, we did. We got a whole video about it. And they'll be like, oh, and then they'll leave and erase their comment and disappear. Just weirdo shit. But we're here, and I appreciate y'all being here. Y'all was here the last couple of days. Them videos went out, as y'all saw in the post. Everything I did last week was demonetized, top to bottom. So I'm looking for angles around that. It's hard to find angles around something that's random and arbitrary. You know what I'm saying? Why do I know they're random and arbitrary? Because I will break not one guideline in a specific video and they'll still knock it down. Then I'll purposely break a couple of the guidelines in another video and that one will get monetized. So I don't understand. It's arbitrary. It's bullshit. We'll figure it out. Every time they be like, oh, can you send feedback? Yeah, y'all bullying me. Fuck y'all. This, that, and the other. That just be my response. Fuck them. Salutes JP the Ghost in the chat. Salutes to you. Pierre Black said bozo shit. Absolutely, yeah. They be doing, the commenters be doing some shit. Now, it just be the ones that, like, you could come here and get the information, but instead you want to come sun me and tell me what I don't know and then realize you the one that just got nephewed. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, stubborn people are stubborn people. It is what it is. What else? Little housekeeping. We got $2 TTS, $2 text-to-speech donations. Your donation will pop right up on the screen, and it will look something like this.
Test user sent $50 test message.
So that robot will read your message, and then also for $5, you can add a link, and I will react to the link. Given that it doesn't put my channel in jeopardy, I will react to the link right then and there. So $5 with a link as well for the TTS. We also have the super chat, super thanks, all that good stuff. So I appreciate y'all for being here. What you can do for me that don't cost a thing is hit that like button. What you can do for me that doesn't cost a thing is share that video. What you can do for me that doesn't cost a thing is share that playlist. You know what I mean? Top of the chat, we got a pin. Shael reacts to true crime playlist. There's 88 fresh videos on there that are stuck at like 25 views, 23 views. I don't blame my people. I blame YouTube. You know, I don't know if those things are ghost banned or what, but it's like they were turned off and all the Cartel stuff was turned on. So if my people that enjoy my reactions, you're not just coming here for the Cartel stuff. You coming here for my reactions. There's 88 videos in that playlist right there that's pinned to the top that are not moving, but are moving because they're dope. There's some funny ones in there, and there's some real serious ones in there. I got interrogation reactions, reactions to pullovers, dumb criminals, dumb cops, all the above. So make sure you check that out for me. Those are the things that you can do for me that don't cost a thing, but continue to move us forward. Today, what are we covering today? Today, I think we're going to get into Cartel Wives 17. It's a short episode. We'll get into that eventually. Maybe we'll get into another Finnegan's Take eventually. The mission was, since I didn't do nothing for the last 2 days, I was going to edit the stuff from the last live and drop that. I figured, man, look, it's the end of the year. Let's just go live. And after that, then I'll edit everything and put everything out and wait for them to demonetize it. But another live it is. But before we do Finnegan's Take or Cartel Wives, I want to talk about Saul Rodriguez, who they called the Crybaby Killer or Crybaby Kidnapper. And this is the guy that was behind Peter Flores' first kidnapping. And I want to get into that story, so we're going to get into that today. I appreciate y'all for being here. Let's get it. What do I have here pulled up? Let me see. That's Llewellyn. Let's pull up one of these. Crybaby Killer from the Daily Beast, April 22nd, 2015. Let's check this out real quick. This guy's face annoys me. Managed to get the chat up on the screen, so hopefully that's dope. Hopefully y'all can see it. Gave it a little bit of real estate above my dome right there. All right. Let's see what this article is talking about. We're going to go through a few of these. Hopefully y'all got time to kick it. I'm in no hurry. We hanging out. I appreciate y'all. 11. Here we go. 4. And then let me shut down this image. Bow. All right. Block. Chicago's Crybaby Killer. I don't want to do bad things no more, boss. Rat turned sniveler. Drug dealer Saul Rodriguez, who bawled like a psychopathic baby when he was sentenced to 40 years for murder and kidnapping, was just the Saul you shouldn't call. I see what you did there, Daily Beast. But his victims did. Updated April 14, 2017. I wonder what the update was. Look at this guy's face. His face is just creeps me out. El Cacico, reaction Culiacanazo, bro. What's that? That was I did. The Culiacanazo, was that when they went to war to go get the Chapitos out of there? I did that. YouTube shut it down for copyright. I'm gonna do some more editing to it, and I'll try to get it back up there. I'll work on that this weekend too. If that's what you're referring to, the Culiacanazo, I believe it is. When the cartel went to war with everybody to get them back. I did it. National Geographic did a documentary about it, and I covered it, and they hit me for a copyright. So I will try to edit that down and get that back up. So I appreciate you, El Cacico. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. PR Black, Ovidio. Yeah, that's when they were trying to get him back, right? Because they accidentally got him. They went and raided some place that they didn't think they... From my understanding, from, I believe, what's dude's name? Ed Calderon. He said that they didn't even know, they didn't even realize, they knew they were going to get some targets, but they didn't even realize Buddy was going to be there. 030 North said, yeah, that's it. Yeah, man, I did. I covered that. I did a whole hour-long video. They didn't let me put it up. But I'm gonna cut it deep enough to get it up there. I'm telling you, man, there's full frontal on YouTube and there's full Marvel movies on YouTube. So save your copyright, save your asset suitability. It's all bullshit. I'm over here covering goofies like this guy right here, and they're bothering me. I don't get it. But I got you, Cacico. I'm going to get that done. I'm going to get that out there. William Luther said YouTube be on some shit. Yeah, absolutely. Salutes to you, William Luther, for being here. El Cacico, salutes to you for being here. PR Black, 030 North, all of y'all, make sure y'all hit the like button. All right, let's look at this weirdo. Don't he look like something out of Men in Black. Some weird face shit going on here. One Saul nobody should call is Saul, pendejos. Is Saul Rodriguez, the 39-year-old crybaby killer who headed a murderous gang known to stash kidnapping victims in a basement with a large macaw parrot trained to repeat 2 words. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Yo, that's a torture in itself. Y'all remember Peter talking about that bird? I'm sure he'd like to put that bird in a soup. Not even other criminals want too much to do with Saul. He not only turned rat, he also blubbered and sniveled like some oversized psychopathic baby when he was sentenced in Chicago last week to 40 years for 3 murders, 29 kidnappings, stealing millions of dollars and distributing millions more in narcotics. Jeez. The killings included a contract hit and a torture murder in which the victim's ears were burned off before his strangulation with an extent. You got the nerve to cry, bro? You got the nerve to cry? With that face? With this face? And what you did, what it says you did here to somebody? You think you got the right to tears? They should have cauterized, just like you burned dudes' ears, they should have cauterized your tear ducts, bruh. So that you hydrated yourself to death with your own tears. Oh shit, demonetization. Shy says some metaphorical shit, and it sounds too cruel, so we're gonna shut it down. Let's see. He got lucky. Yeah, you damn right he got lucky. You damn right he got lucky. And I don't know if he gets to see a parole board or what, but the killings included a contract hit and a torture murder in which the victim's ears were burned off before his strangulation with an extension cord as part of a vain effort to elicit the location of drugs and money. A third homicide claimed Rodriguez's best friend. Also, say it in the chat. Please, say it for me one time. A third homicide claimed Rodriguez's best friend. With friends like these right here, look at his stupid face. Who needs enemies, man? Wow. So he got hit for his best friend's murder too. Rodriguez then showed up at the funeral acting like a mourner. Prosecutors noted in the pre-sentencing memorandum. That's normal for dirtbags. What's his face did that too. Alpo. William Luther said they can shut you down, but they can't slow you down. That's the facts, man. I came into this world without YouTube. If I have to leave without YouTube, I'll leave without YouTube. But these videos will be up somewhere. That's for sure. Because I got something to say. The killings include, Rodriguez then showed up at the funeral acting like a mourner. Again, yeah, that's normal for dirtbags like that. A lot of dirtbags do that. Alpo did that. A lot of Italians did that. A lot of people in general do that. Show up to the funeral, play the game. Just take a look at Bishop and Juice hugging, looking crazy over people's shoulders. Alpo, I think, wrote his name real big in the book. Bruh, you doing too much, bruh. Among those Rodriguez kidnapped were 6 children as young as 5. He only got 40 years. This guy only got 40 years. That's it. Among those Rodriguez kidnapped were 6 children as young as 5, a pregnant woman, and an elderly grandmother. He scored $2.5 million in cocaine by grabbing one of the identical Flores twins, who were the exclusive Chicago representatives of the Sinaloa Cartel. The exclusive Chicago representatives of the Sinaloa Cartel. All right? Main vein, basically. The road to fucking Culiacan. 2 of the numerous kidnapped victims knew Rodriguez and unwittingly called him for help in putting up the ransom. 2 of the numerous. So he was kidnapping his people that thought that they could depend on him for help. Look at his face, though. His face just say that he does all of that. Look at him. He probably couldn't fight. Didn't do well with chicks, probably. Look at him. Wow. He was kidnapping people that cared about him enough that they didn't know who kidnapped them, but they're calling Saul for help. Saul, help me. I need your help, bro. I need some money. I need ransom. Meanwhile, he's the guy who came up with the number for your ransom and put you where he put you. It's bananas. 2 of the numerous kidnapped victims knew Rodriguez and unwittingly called him for help in putting up the ransom with the understanding they would pay him back. He left them thinking he was a fine friend in a pinch. Just the Saul you would want to call, or at least until you learn the truth. The man who saved my life, one of the victims recalls thinking of Rodriguez for a time. That's also said trash human, absolutely bottom feeder, just the bottom of the barrel, dirtbag. Same position as the PDF files, same position as people that hurt old people and babies. There's no place for you, and I don't believe you can be rehabilitated. You know, that's my belief. Wow. Rodriguez's partner in crime after crime after crime was a Chicago police officer. Was it Jerome Finnegan? Nope, not this time around. That means for all you people like, oh, okay, fine, Jerome Finnegan, we had one bad cop. No, look, we found another one. There's two. Not to mention the thousands of them that you ignored. But yeah, look, we got another one. Rodriguez's partner in crime after crime after crime was a Chicago police officer named Glen Lellan. The two first met back in 1996 when the cop arrested Rodriguez for selling pot and took him to an unmarked warehouse the Chicago police used as a kind of black site. They always put the word kind of. No, it was a black site. It was a place to hurt people. Llewellyn arranged for the charges to be dropped after Rodriguez agreed to become a confidential informant. 96-20, codenamed Bill Pager because he owned a beeper store. PR Black called him a greaseball. Also said figures. I'm assuming also saying figures to the fact that his partner was a Chicago cop. Absolutely. JP the Ghost said they were supposed to offer him for the jump. And Junior, salutes to you for being here, Junior. Junior said Chicago PD is dirty. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then some. But he put him on the payroll. Bill Pager. These guys are so creative. The written agreement Rodriguez signed forbade him from continuing to deal drugs, but Llewellyn rest assured him those were just some words to be ignored. Right. Same way the United States government assured the twins and their wives that we don't need that money right now. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about that. Just give us this tape. Llewellyn told Rodriguez, keep doing what you've been doing. Keep dealing drugs, the prosecutor would say at trial. Rodriguez continued to sell drugs in the community with Llewellyn, a police officer's blessing, which put Rodriguez in the best position to gain information about other drug dealers. What I was arguing about the other day, I was saying, of course these cops be letting these people continue their operation. Of course these cops be letting these people do their thing on the street. Otherwise, how you going to get the information that you want from them? If they're not doing the job that they were doing when you found them, that you wanted the information for, then how are they going to get you information? I think it's all just for show, just to show the public. No, we don't let them. We have a moral high ground. We do not let them sell drugs while they are confidential informants. I believe that's just for the public to see. I believe that's just for them to give us this notion that, you know, not only are they informants, but they're not selling drugs, because then that would mean they're technically selling drugs for you to stay in the business so that they can give you information. So they don't want us to know that, right? But if you ask me, a lot of these dudes ain't got no choice but to stay in the game. You get out the game, you ain't getting no more information. Not the information they want. Rodriguez continued to sell drugs in the community with Llewellyn's, a police officer's blessing, which put Rodriguez in the best position to gain information about other drug dealers. The arrangement provided for Rodriguez to receive a $1,000 reward for every kilo of cocaine recovered as a result of his tips. $750 per kilo, more than he made dealing the stuff. So what's his incentive to hustle? There's more incentive to be a rat for him. PR Black said the twins let him live. They absolutely let him live. Cato let him live. He got a lot of passes, this guy right here. William Luther, the government uses people more than people use drugs. Absolutely. Police can't use drugs. The CIA can, though. Exactly. Feds be playing chess. Yeah. They be playing chess with checker players. Wow. What a dirtbag. His friends, babies, grandparents. We thought Jerome was bad for locking up Abuelita, free Abuelita. But this fool was kidnapping Abuelitas and throwing them in the basement. And then he was making a stack for every key. Wow. Yeah, there's no incentive for him to stay hustling. What's the point? When he can make $750 more per key. If he's not in the game, they don't get them kilos, and they don't get to spend that money with him. PR Black said, grimy ass click. Absolutely. The arrangement provided for, no, here we go. Llewellyn stood by and watched as Chicago police paid him $40,000 to be a police officer, while they paid Rodriguez $800,000 to be an informant, the prosecutor would report. See, now this is a crossroads that Jerome ended up at one point or another, where he said to himself, at what point am I playing myself, chasing these fools around? These dudes go snitch, they get a couple of dollars. I'm sitting here with nothing. I might as well just start extorting these fools. Because Llewellyn sees it. Llewellyn making 40 grand a year being a police, while Saul's making 800 stacks just being a rat. But Llewellyn, I'm sure at this point he was already on the take. I'm sure at this point he hadn't surrendered to his $40,000 a year at this point. Nah, because he told him from the jump, keep doing what you're doing. Write down that you ain't going to sell weed no more, but keep doing what you're doing. He was already in the dirt. He knew what was necessary, what he had to do. So I'm sure he was on the take already. By 1998, Llewellyn and Rodriguez decided to change the nature of their partnership. One criminal and one cop turned criminal, working together to steal drugs and drug money for profit, the prosecutor would say, and they made over $1 million doing it. Rodriguez and Llewellyn became what prosecutors would term the CEOs of a crew of violent criminals. Rodriguez planned and directly participated in all of the crew's criminal activities. The prosecutor would say, as for Llewellyn, he not only planned and directly participated in many of the crew's violent crimes, he also served as the crew's guardian angel. The prosecutor would add, instead of arresting this crew, Llewellyn led them. Llewellyn served both as the sword and the shield of this crew, which allowed them to commit crimes for years to come. On September 11, 2001, when the rest of the country was transfixed by the 9/11 attacks, Rodriguez and Llewellyn decided it was a perfect day to rob some drug dealers of 80 kilos of cocaine. The two CEOs subsequently pooled the proceeds of their numerous crimes and founded a real estate firm they called RNL Development. These guys were lovers, boy, a whole couple, these guys. They was building their little front businesses together. RNL, because, nobody, it's never be strange in the street to see these two assholes sitting at a table having lunch, right? Nah, doesn't look strange at all. RNL Rodriguez and Llewellyn, the prosecutor would observe, they bought a green Crown Victoria and outfitted it with lights and a siren to make it indistinguishable from an unmarked police car. Kidnapped victims such as the Flores twins imagined they were being arrested when they were first nabbed. They were cuffed with plastic ties and blindfolded before they realized otherwise. In the meantime, Rodriguez heard that his best friend had slept with an ex-girlfriend. Uh-oh. He looks like one of those. Let's look at him again. Yeah, you look like you'll cry over an ex-girlfriend. You touched my girl, bro. That was my girl. I loved her. You ain't been with her for 5 years. Yeah, bro, but you ain't supposed to mess with her. She was mine, bro. Look at him. Just a mess. Got bullied as a kid. Yeah. Here we go. Rodriguez heard that his best friend, who he had probably kidnapped at least once already, Rodriguez heard that his best friend had slept with an ex-girlfriend. Rodriguez arranged to have the best friend's car burned and to have drugs planted at his home. The best friend was arrested and freed on bail. Rodriguez then had him murdered. What a piece of shit. He took it like a gangster, Rodriguez later testified. He took your bitch like a gangster too. Excuse my lisp. I got a sore tooth right now. In the meantime, Rodriguez heard that his best friend had slept with an ex-girlfriend. Rodriguez arranged to have his best friend's car burned and to have drugs planted at his home. The best friend was arrested and freed on bail. Rodriguez then had him murdered. He took it like a gangster, Rodriguez later testified. What a piece of shit. What a trash human being. Your best friend. Bad enough, you burned his whip, which it could have ended right there. But then you planted dope, then set him up to get arrested, and then smoked him. Too many people let you slide. Too many people left you out the game, let you out the game, you know what I'm saying? The game you were playing. There was consequences for you too. Nobody was holding you to them. 2 other murders followed. The kidnappings included the owner of an auto rim shop that Rodriguez patronized. So damn, you can't even give the guy a deal on a set of rims because he's gonna come get you too. This the dirtiest kind of person. Junior said, damn, all over through some ran through puss. Also said, what the fuck? Yeah, what the fuck indeed. So you can't even give him a deal on wheels. 2 other murders followed. The kidnappings included the owner of an auto rim shop that Rodriguez patronized. The Rodriguez underlings who carried out the snatch scrolled down through the man's cell phone asking who might have money to pay the ransom. Why don't we call Saul, the victim said. Saul. Let's call Saul. The men dialed the number and held the cell phone to the bound victim's ear. Rodriguez quickly agreed to pay the $700,000 ransom. The victim made good on a pledge to pay back his good friend Saul with interest. It came to $800,000. So he double dipped him. Woo! It just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Hold on. I'm reading this again. Kidnappings include the owner of auto rim shop he patronized. The underlings who carried out the snatch scrolled down through the man's phone asking who got the money to pay for this. Dude said the victim said call Saul. So this guy said Saul will do it. Saul said, yeah, I'll pay the $700. You just got to give me $800 back. Cool. They let him go. And now Saul stand on due for the $800,000. Wow. Set the deal, set the price, then added an extra vig and got it too. Yo, scrape the bottom of the barrel type motherfucker. It took me about 3 years, the victim later testified. Yeah, I bet. Wow. How is it that people ain't figure out that this guy was behind all of the, I mean, he's catching a vig from everybody that owes him something, you know, from a ransom. In 3 years, you paying it off and nobody hips you to the fact that, hey, you know, this dude's game is, he kidnaps people. He says he paid the ransom because he knows the people he kidnapped. And then he gets an extra 100 stacks. It's crazy. Another call to Saul came from an elderly bar owner he knew and arranged to have kidnapped. You can't even serve the man a drink. Think about that. You a bar owner. You a rim shop owner. You a bar owner. You a rim shop owner. You got an ice cream parlor. You got a regular customer comes in all the time. You throw him a deal. You throw his kid a ice cream cone. Next thing you know, this dude got you tied up talking to a parrot. Another call to Saul from an elderly bar owner he knew and arranged to have kidnapped. She told me they had kidnapped her and that she needed my help to pay the ransom. Rodriguez later testified. She sounded really scared. You think? In April 2009, the crew went to rip off what they believed was a dealer's 600-kilo stash of cocaine, but what was in fact a DEA sting. They were arrested, and Rodriguez found himself facing life in prison. He, of course, agreed to cooperate fast. As soon as he smelled the police, he put his hand up. Your Honor, I got something to say. Let me speak. April 2009, the crew went to rip off what they believed was a dealer's 600-kilo stash of coke, but was in fact a DEA sting. They were arrested, and Rodriguez found himself facing life in prison. He, of course, agreed to cooperate and testify against his former partner, Lellan. Lellan was convicted at trial and sentenced to 40 years. Rodriguez was initially promised a reduced sentence of 35 years, but he could not help being Rodriguez. Rodriguez was initially promised a reduced sentence of 35 years, but he could not help being Rodriguez. He was caught smuggling a cell phone into the federal lockup. He also worked hard at integrating himself with a high-ranking boss of the Sinaloa cartel. The cartel boss, Vicente Zambada, had been locked up thanks to the Flores twins, who had also agreed to cooperate after being arrested. Rodriguez now provided Zambada with everything he had learned of the twins, and he was planning to kidnap one of them, including where their families lived and the location of a barbershop and a restaurant they own. So just a bunch of rats and ratting to rats about rats, and it's just everybody's talking on everybody, and it's like, what does it matter at that point? Y'all are all in a PC somewhere. He wanted to get some information to try to kill them, Rodriguez later said of Zambada. Well, we're gonna have to look into that. In response, the government moved to revoke the deal with Rodriguez and asked the U.S. District Court, Joan Gottschall. She got y'all. That's what she did. She did get y'all. To give him 40 years. Rodriguez appeared in Chicago federal court for sentencing last Friday and blubbered for what reporters estimated to be 10 long minutes. Wham. Using tissue upon tissue as he begged for no more than 30 years. So you crying over the sawbuck like a bitch? I don't want to do bad no more. I'm going to be good, Daddy, I promise. Mama Joan got y'all, please. I'm going to be good. I'm not going to kidnap my friends no more. I'm not going to kidnap, extort, and terrify old ladies. I'm not going to kidnap the guy that gave me a deal on my rims no more. I am not going to set up my friends to go to prison and to be unalived. I am not going to, none of those things. Not going to snatch up 5-year-olds anymore. I'm not going to be the hating, jealous, bottom of the barrel, dirtbag piece of shit that I really am. You should have got left in a napkin or a rubber or something. Also said he belongs under the jail. He belongs in the shower drain. He should have ended up in the shower drain. You know what I mean? That's just the type of person that is. A man with no code. Zero code. They should have been mopping you up off the shower floor. I don't want to do bad no more. Others who spoke included the sister of his murdered best friend. She recalled how Rodriguez had gone to her brother's funeral after arranging to have him shot to death. Others who spoke included the sister of his murdered best friend. She recalled how Rodriguez had gone to her brother's funeral after arranging to have him shot to death. How could you, Saul? She asked. The judge gave Rodriguez the 40 years. One voice that was not heard was the parrot, which could have offered 2 perfect words for sending the crybaby killer off to prison. Fuck you. Ah, shit. He kidnapped the bootleg CD, man. He kidnapped everybody, dog. This dirtbag, man. That dude's a different kind of piece of shit, for real. Junior says, scum of the scummiest. And Think Like a Kingpin thought that shit was funny. The guy should have ended up in the drain, man. In a sock, something. Wow. All right. Let's take a look at his stupid fucking face again. Look at his stupid fucking face. And the first thing he does when he goes in there is start giving information on other people. Like, everybody should have been ganging up, giving information on you. Like, you should have instantly been, taken care of, like, quick, fast, in a hurry. You know what I mean? That dude right there. Too many people let that dude live. That's why he was getting away with all that shit. I mean, that's why he kept doing all that shit. That's why he kept doing all that shit. What a dirtbag. What a dirtbag. And then he cried about it like a bitch. Cried over the sawbuck. Why nobody get him before this all continued to happen? I don't know, man. I don't know how much of how much protection Llewellyn had for him. But to me, it seemed like everybody know he was the guy. Think Like Kingpin said, what I don't understand is that he could have helped himself by setting up Zambara, but instead he gives into that jealousy. I mean, yeah, that's. I think he was super jealous of the twins. I think he was super jealous of everybody. The rim guy, this guy got too many rims. The 5-year-old, that 5-year-old's too young. The abuelita with the bar, that lady owns a bar. Like, I feel like he was a dirtbag that was just, his best friend smashed his girl. Like, all of this shit, he was just an under-fucking achiever. A bottom feeder, you know what I'm saying? Like a filter fish. And he was just a dirtbag like that. He was just a dirtbag. And I think he was always gonna go like water, the easiest, the path of least resistance. He was gonna. Zambada's right there. Cool. I got this. I'm right here already. Like, he was just an opportunist. He was gonna take them opportunities. But the question, why did nobody get him before all this? I don't know how much. Before this continued. Sorry. Why nobody get him before this all continued to happen? I don't know. I don't know why they let him slide. Like, everybody let him slide. Like, he ain't nothing to worry about. Let him go be a dirtbag. But that's a lot of dirtbag shit he did. Like, they didn't even get to the 5-year-old. I ain't hear the 5-year-old story. William Luther said he wanted to be number 1 with a number 78 work ethic. Absolutely. Absolutely. Rat, thief, hater. Absolutely. All of the above, like that's a guy that'll essay. You know what I'm saying? The letter S, the letter A. That's the type of dude that'll take it from a woman. That's what he seems like to me. You know what I'm saying? That kind of dirtbag. Like I said, same as the PDF files. All of the above. And like, Think Like a Kingpin said, I believe those cops was helping him, and and I don't know how I don't know how he made it through the gauntlet, because he did a lot of dirty shit, man. That's a lot of dirty shit. Yeah, he thought everybody can get it. Babies could get it. Yeah, dirty dudes know how to move. Dirty dudes know how to keep their ass out the fire. Dudes that don't want to burn, that know that they deserve to burn, they're going to keep their ass out the fire. Let's see what this says real quick. This is about Llewellyn right here. I read he lived across the street from a police station to be safe. Look at that. I don't doubt that at all. Across the street from a police station, sitting in the dark by himself, spanking his monkey to some internet porn because he can't go outside. He done too many people wrong. But the thing is, it was a slick caper because He probably went in the time that dude, the rim shop owner, in the time that dude was paying him the 800 grand, he probably went and shopped with dude a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? So his caper was more of a in the dark. You know, a lot of people didn't even know it was him they was paying this ransom to. So he got away with a lot of shit. But the ones that knew. You know, evidently the twins knew because it was right away. As soon as Jay heard his voice, he said, "Man, that sounds like so and so." And he went and he talked to somebody, and they said, "Oh, you think it's him?" And he said, "Yeah, I think it's him." Well, if you think it's him, then it's him, because that's what he does. So there were people that knew what he was on. Kay knew what he was on enough to snatch him out the whip. Knew he was casing the crib, you know. Cartel don't care. They will take you out in the police station. I don't know, man. I don't know. I ain't heard that one yet. Y'all send me the link to that one, that they went up in this police station and got Buddy, because I don't know about it. Maybe in Mexico. I don't know about on the south side of Chicago. I know on the west side I ain't seen that shit happen. Let's read this. What is this? This is DOJ press release. Retired Chicago police officer sentenced to 18 years in prison for role in violent drug distribution conspiracy. I thought he got 40. Oh, no, this was... no, I'm saying him living by a police station isn't protection, is what I meant. It is protection if the cop that works in there is your business partner. You know what I mean? Like, if the cop that working there your business partner, then he got people on the roll, like, who knows? Who knows, man? I don't know. All I know is it's like a worm. Like he's just in the dirt, dug in. His eyes is just out watching, scoping everybody's shit. That guy is a bottom feeder. So this is 2013. So the Crybaby case happened in 2015. So this is probably this is 2013. So this press release is probably pre the 40-year determination. So we'll see when we get to the bottom of it. Let's see. Yes, it would. You ain't gonna stay and sit on a dude. Yes, it would. You ain't gonna stay and sit on a dude. You beat your grab. I don't get it. True didn't think of it that way. Yeah, like he had his boys across the street and shit. Here we go. Retired Chicago police officer sentenced to 18 years in prison for role in violent drug distribution conspiracy. Monday, May 20th, 2013. U.S. State's Attorney. Chicago. A retired Chicago police officer was sentenced today to 18 years in federal prison for his lengthy participation in a drug trafficking conspiracy that involved the distribution of hundreds of kilograms of cocaine, murder, violent kidnappings, robberies, home invasions, and obstruction of justice. Casi nada, almost nothing. The defendant, Glen Lellan. You got another guy. He sit right next to Jerome Finnegan, Glen Lellan. All these N's at the end of your names. A Chicago police officer from 1986 until he resigned in 2003, was one of 5 co-defendants who were convicted following a 2-month trial in late 2011 and early 2012. There was no allegation that Lellan participated in any murders. Right. Of course not. Lellan, 57, formerly of Chicago, Las Vegas, and South Suburban Frankfurt, was taken into custody following his conviction on January 31st, 2012. He faced a maximum sentence of life and a mandatory minimum of 10 years in prison. The government sought a sentence of 30 years from U.S. District Judge Joan Gottschall, who imposing the sentence said that public interest in general, deterrence, and respect for the law, as well as the seriousness of Lellan's crimes, called for the 18-year sentence, even though she did not believe that he posed any risk of personal recidivism. The jury that convicted Lellan of a narcotics distribution conspiracy did not reach a verdict on whether he also participated in a RICO conspiracy, racketeering conspiracy. And the government today dismissed that count because it would not have added any time to Llewellyn's sentence. Somehow he got more time because they said he got 40 years. The evidence at trial showed that from 1998 to 2006, after he had retired, of course he retired early. He was able to retire early, but he was robbing everybody blind. Of course he could retire early. After he had retired, so the evidence in trial showed from 1998 to 2006, after he had retired, Llewellyn, together with brothers Hector and George Uriarte and others, participated in drug conspiracy with Saul Rodriguez, who Llewellyn had arrested in 1996 and enlisted as a Chicago police informant while allowing him to continue buying, selling, and stealing cocaine. Llewellyn personally participated in violent kidnappings and robberies of drugs and money, and obstructed justice by providing information to his cohorts and interfering with criminal investigations into their activities. Llewellyn decided that he could make more money breaking his oath and the law than he could by serving and protecting. The government argued in a sentencing memo. He ruthlessly kidnapped victim after victim at gunpoint, restrained them, and threatened them until cocaine and money was provided to secure their release. It's crazy. A total of 11 defendants were charged in the case. Rodriguez and 3 co-defendants pled guilty and testified as government witnesses at the trial of Llewellyn and 4 co-defendants. The case began when Rodriguez and others were arrested in April 2009 after they conspired to steal hundreds of kilograms of purported cocaine from a warehouse in southwest suburban Chanahan. As part of an undercover sting operation, Rodriguez is awaiting sentencing and is expected to receive 30 to 40. You got 40, Papa, and you cried about it because you wanted to sneak a phone in so that you could get information and get somebody else's family hit because you're a dirtbag. It's just what it is. 30, 40 years in prison under the terms of his plea agreement. Jorge Uriarte was sentenced to 60 years in prison. Hector Uriarte received 50 years in prison. And trial defendants Tony Sparkman and Robert Cardena received 42 years and 10 years, respectively. Llewellyn's sentence was announced by Gary Shapiro, United States Attorney for the Northern District of Illinois. Jack Riley, Special Agent in charge of Chicago Field Division of the Drug Enforcement Administration. Jack Riley's funny. In that in the video that I did about the Culiacanazo, Jack Riley's like, I hate what Chapo did to the south side of Chicago. What Chapo did, south side of Chicago been the south side of Chicago. Chicago been Chicago for 100 years. Who did that? Chapo did that? Nah. No. America did that. So stop it, Mr. Riley. Llewellyn's sentence was announced by Gary Shapiro, United States Attorney for Northern District of Illinois. Jack Riley, Special Agent in charge of Chicago Field Division of the Drug Enforcement Administration. And James C. Lee, Special Agent in charge of the Internal Revenue Service Criminal Investigation Division. Them the ones that get you, the IRS. The investigation was conducted under the umbrella of the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force. Government is represented by the Assistant State's Attorney Terry Reynolds, Stephen Block, and Tiffany Tracy. Now, I thought they said he got 40 years. This could be wrong though. This could have been updated since then. You know what I mean? So we don't know. So Glen Lellan, you're the same bottom feeding dirtbag that Saul is. You know what I'm saying? You're a carjacker, dog. You know what I mean? Like you're like a junkie. You jump in the back of an ambulance and steal medication and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like drugs and shit. Like you just a piece of shit. And I'm sure you sat in your retirement on your high horse, you know, about all of the people whose necks you stepped on in life. And but in reality, you're a piece of shit. I hope you know it now. Now what I have here is February 96. Wow. Right here I have the paperwork between Llewellyn and Saul to solidify Saul as an informant for Llewellyn. Here's the contract, y'all. Now, mind you, the contract don't mean shit because it says don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. And Llewellyn was like, don't worry about it, son. I'm above the law. I'm who I am. I, Saul Rodriguez, the undersigned... Wait, hold on. Cooperating Individual Agreement, Organized Crime Division, Chicago Police Department. Time, 1,445 hours. Date, 28th of February, 1996. Salute to Raven Jefferson in the chat. Appreciate you being here. I, Saul Rodriguez, the undersigned, understand that while I am a cooperating individual of the Chicago Police Department Organized Crime Division, I am forbidden to do any of the following: sell or deliver any controlled substance, dangerous drug, marijuana, or any substance purported to be same to anyone. Never sell or deliver or cause to be sold or delivered any controlled substance, dangerous drug, marijuana, or any substance purported to be same to any person who would then in turn sell or deliver said controlled substances, dangerous drug, marijuana, or any substance purported to be the same to any member of Chicago Police Department or the Organized Crime Division. What? Don't sell drugs to cops, obviously. Never use my sexuality, that dude didn't have none, or sexual activity to induce or persuade any individual to sell or deliver a controlled substance, drug, marijuana, or any other substance purported to be the same to any member of Chicago Police Department Organized Crime Division. Okay. Never initiate, become involved, or investigate or involved in an investigation or gather information on a person. Never initiate, become involved in investigation or gather information on a person, organization solely because of the person's or organization's First Amendment conduct or selectively for political, religious, or personal reasons. So wait a minute. This is telling the cooperator, the rat, to, don't just put people on our radar because of your religious beliefs. Don't be the kind of dirtbag you are. That's the kind of dirtbag this guy is. This guy sounds like he'll do something dirty to you because you like a song he don't like. You know what I'm saying? That's just type of dirty pig animal that this dude is. So never initiate, become involved in an investigation, or gather information on a person or organization solely because of the person's First Amendment conduct or selectively for political, religious, or personal reasons. It's hilarious. Junior, is this the reason the twins fled to Mexico because of the RICO? The twins fled to Mexico because of a case that came down from Wisconsin. I don't remember if it was a RICO. It was just it quite possibly could have been a RICO. But remember, Jay was already in Mexico and Pete was on his way out. But that came down from Wisconsin. I remember. This is crazy, right? I further understand that I might never search any suspect, person, house, papers, or personal effects. Okay. They're reminding you you're not a cop. I may never become involved in any activities that would constitute entrapment. Okay. You definitely entrapped people. I mean, you literally planted drugs in your best friend's house and got him locked up, and then when he got out, you got him shot. Like you're a different kind of piece of shit, Further, I understand that any violations Oh, no, hold on. I further understand that I may not engage in any illegal or improper conduct so long as I'm working with the Chicago Police Department Organized Crime Division as a cooperating individual. Further, I understand that any violations arising from my actions in violation of the above circumstances will result in an investigation of matters, and if the charges are substantiated, appropriate action, including the possibility of criminal prosecution, will be taken. I am agreeing to the function as a cooperating individual of the Organized Crime Division of my own free will and accord, and not as a result of any intimidation or threats. All right, somebody clip this. Audio right now. They're like, "Yo, we got Shy, dog. We got Shy on tape talking about the Organized Crime Division contract that he signed. We got him." Cocksuckers. In agreeing to work as a cooperating individual for the Chicago Police Department Organized Crime Division, I understand that no Organized Crime Division police officer may take any explicit or implicit promises or predictions regarding the likely disposition of any criminal proceedings that are pending against me. But the officers of the Chicago Police Department Organized Crime Division will make their best efforts to arrange a meeting with prosecutors' authorities at which time such matters can be discussed. Thomas Horton, Glen Lellan, Saul Rodriguez, he writes like a girl. 1445 hours, 28 February 6, 440 South Shields. Bananas. William Luther said it's all entrapment. It's all entrapment. Everything he did was entrapment. He trapped people, entrapped people. He did all kind of shit. But there it is. We got witnesses. Officer 1 and Officer 2. Shameful, boy. Those officers look down on Saul. Those officers don't realize they're the same kind of dirtbag that he is. Let me see what else we have here. I gotta get past an ad to open the next document, but I don't even know what the next document is. Okay, let's see what this is. Cooperating individual requests, Organized Crime Division, Chicago Police Department, 28th of February 96. I, Officer Glen Lellan, met with Saul Rodriguez, who stated he or she wished to cooperate with the Chicago Police Department Organized Crime Division. During conversations with Saul Rodriguez, he or she provided the following information: narcotic information on major Mexican drug trafficking.
Sergio's World just subscribed on YouTube.
Sergio's World, salute to you. Appreciate you subscribing. Thank you very much. Narcotic information. He or she provided the following information: narcotic information. Hold on, hundreds in the chat for the new subscribers. Let's give the new subscribers some props. Salute Sergio. Hundreds in the chat for you, bro. He or she provided the following information: narcotic information on major Mexican drug trafficker in the Cook County area. How much of that information was on the twins? He told on everybody. He probably got a page, a Cato page, a twins page, a this page, or that page. He got everybody involved. Saul Rodriguez stated he could provide information relative to illicit trafficking in narcotics or other above specified criminal activities. It is hereby requested that Saul Rodriguez be assigned a CI number N9620. And the name is Bill Pager. And Bill Pager still writes like a girl, an 8th grade girl at that. Big round letters. Hold on, why you box me out? You gonna make me go through this ad again? Cool, we'll go through the ad. We're not paying for it. People crazy. To read the rap pages and shit. Bill Pager, criminal history sheet attached. Photo attached. Glen Lellan, Thomas, I believe that's Horton. And now we got a whole bunch of other signatures. All of you guys are responsible for his activity. All right, let's see what's on this page. We'll wait the 10 seconds. Uh-oh. Money, 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 money. This fool got paid. Listen. It's a dirty game, y'all. So we went right straight to work, all right? Because this is March 15th. March 15th, day after my birthday, 96. Bad year for me. It's the year Pac died. Let's see. Cooperating individual use log. Use. That's the right word. Organized Crime Division, CPD. Saul Rodriguez. Bill Pager. Bill Finger. Raider incident. Here we go. 15 March. Cocaine, marijuana, one gun. No money. So he's not getting paid for these first couple. Glen Lellan. Think like a kingpin said, man, it must be hard to get ahead when you got dudes like this running around. I mean, yeah, there's going to be a bottom feeder for somebody to throw this shit off. Like, I mean, like, there's always that person. No matter what game you in, there's always that person. People in the office world deal with that person. Just an angry for no reason, hater for no reason. Like William Luther said, wants to be known for work ethic, number one work ethic, but their work ethic is number 78. Boom, cocaine, one gun, and cannabis. Here we go. Let's start getting this money. Cocaine, one gun, and cannabis. All written off by Lellan. Here we go, $5,350. All right, he got, so that was for those little three right there. $5,350. All right, let's see what these next few. I don't even know what that says. Cop writes like a doctor. You're killing me with the ads. Real bitch. Cannabis, no pay, cocaine. Not telling me how much. Boom, paid again, 3 stacks. Then another stack. Paid to date. He already made by May 2nd. So the March 15th, April, May. So by May 2nd, he already made about 10 stacks. Right? Cocaine. Here we go. April, June. Wait, there's a big jump. Look, 27 stacks he made for this cocaine deal right here. So now, by April, or no, that. So by June, he was already 46, 47 stacks. August, 47 stacks up. Wildin', boy. Info on cocaine. Look what we see. Horton, we see Lellan, we see Cushing, all of these cops. That boy was getting that paper. But these guys call themselves, both sides, the cops will call themselves cops, right? And the criminals will call themselves soldiers, and it's like y'all both the same thing, man. Y'all both garbage, like cocaine, powder cocaine. I don't even know if this is none, more. What is that? Negative. Cocaine, 3 guns. 3 guns by 97, February 27. So 1 year later after he signed that, he had already made 164 grand. Mind you, this is just off of them. This ain't off of what he's doing up on the side. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Reza in the chat. Tapping in. What up, Shael? What's popping, Reza? We in here breaking down this filthy animal. We talking about Saul, the dude that came onto our radar by being the dude that kidnapped Peter first in the Surviving El Chapo series. So a year later, An exact year later, he made 164 grand just off of his working for the police. Not the stuff he was slanging on the side, not the viejitas he had in the basement on the side. Just off the police, the man made 164 grand, $250. So 165 grand. Bananas. That's bananas. And that's all the incentive he need. A lot. Oh, it ain't over. We keep going. There's always a counter. There's just a rat somewhere just being counterproductive to what you're doing. It's the CD man kidnapper. He kidnapped everybody, dog. CD man could get it. The bootleg man could get it. Who else, man? The tamale lady. I'm sure this dude put a tamale lady in a basement somewhere, dog. Like, there's no way he didn't do a tamale lady dirty. Here we go again. Look, he does a jump, an $84,000 jump right here in February. So here we go, February 7th. So this is when that. Okay, this is February 27th. Yeah, so this is a year. So they're not in chronological order, but he another jump. This is, I guess, when this boy was busy. So he's cleared $258,000 by this point. The ice cream man got kidnapped. $258,000. All right, and we're still in 97. August 97, $303,000. And all you see on these lists is cocaine, cannabis, guns. What a dirtbag. Nice guys finish last for real. Nice guys stay broke. Because you got to be a dirtbag to get paid in life. You know what I mean? Like, look at this fucking guy. Look at this shit. What a piece of shit. All right, here we go. 98, March 12th. Probably kidnapped his own mother. I'm sure he stole from her. A dude like that has zero code, bro. He'll steal from anybody. So by 98, 354 grand. It's a good couple of years right there. Letter of authorization to use. Detective Michael Bobko. Uh-oh. $500,000. We're reaching the $500,000 point with this dirtbag. Here's what he couldn't spend that money on: swag, game, you know what I mean, integrity, dignity. You couldn't spend that money on none of that stuff. You was born without it. You know what I mean? Like, you was meant for the drain, bro. Cocaine, cannabis. Look it, we done made it to 439 grand in 98. 98. Get to the bottom of 98, we make it to October 98, $528,000. This is just what he's making off CPD. Bananas. Come on, stupid. You're not letting me go no further. Oh, here we go. Gotta let it reload. Wow. He looks like he spends all his money on hookers. Strung out ones. Here we go. We went to in 99, early 99, February, 628 grand. Look, we 745 for July 2000. Okay, this dude made a clean fucking $1 million off the working for the police. Cocaine info for views and seizures. Seymour Williams, Rossi. 789,000. Then they got a different number under there. I don't know what that is. So basically, Buddy covered about $750,000. Just ratting people out, selling their stashes to the law. Now, this is what he's getting on the books. We're not talking about the people getting snatched up. You know what I'm saying? At what point in this timeline is that happening? From 98 to 2000? Did they go 2 years where Llewellyn was like, all right, I realize this guy's getting this money. Now, from 98 forward, they start snatching people up. Reliability advancement of DS report. Blah, 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 blah. Submit within 24 hours. Oh, shit. Information for on-view seizure. And there's his number right here, Mr. Bill Gates. I mean, not Bill Gates, Bill Pager. So it dirty ass. That's his number. We got info on $1,391,775 worth of cocaine. 11,134, what is that, grams? Hereby acknowledge receipt of $10,000. John J. Rossi. Tended to me by John J. Rossi. Signature cooperating individual. Bill Pager. Still writes like a girl. Wow. That's it. Shit's crazy. New R. Kelly charges. Stop. Yeah. This guy's a different kind of dirtbag. But he made a lot of money being a dirtbag, but it don't serve him. You know, he couldn't wipe his tears with that money when he ended up indicted. When he ended up in getting that whole extra 10 years or extra 5 years that they gave him because he tried to still be slick and sneak a phone in there. Pinche Saúl vale verga. Let's see if we can find any videos about this jerk off. Probably not. Saúl Rodriguez. Let's see what we got here. Judge sentences suburban drug trafficker. How a corrupt Chicago cop framed dozens of people. Sergeant Ronald Watts. No, that ain't got nothing to do with us. Inmate kills. No, the internet doesn't really care about this guy. They don't care about this guy. Salute to y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all. Everybody that walked in, walked out. Please hit the like button if you have yet to do so. Hundreds in the chats for all the homies. I appreciate y'all being here. We're here discussing the tamale lady kidnapper, the crybaby killer, all of that good stuff. The best friend napper. Listen, you can't give a lame power, dog. You know, a lame like that. Oh, he touched my girl. I gotta smoke him now. What? Was she your girl or did you just have a crush on her, sissy? I mean, I don't see one video on this dude, so if y'all ever run into one, let me know. I see nothing. Salutes to William Luther. I see nothing out here. 2 decades in prison. No, I don't see nothing about him out here. I do know that, let me see what happens if I put Salutes J-Rock 817 BOS. Appreciate you being here, bro. If you just walking in, thank you very much. Hit the like button. And when we're done, then go back and catch that playback. Because we found all the dirt on the dirt bag. Saúl Rodriguez. Better call Saúl. Let me see what happens if I type in Glen Lellan. See if I get anything on him. Dirty cops test limits of Fifth Amendment. Uh-oh, he got an early prison release due to coronavirus, you filthy animal piglet. All right, let's see why they let this piglet come home. Keep that fire coming. I plan on it, William Luther. I plan on it. Here we go. Let me knock this down. Crooked ex-Chicago cop gets early prison release due to coronavirus. You're not worthy. Glen Lellan was convicted of teaming with the paid informant whose tips allowed them to kidnap, rob, and arrest rival drug dealers between 1998 and 2006. Federal judge, I can't read this for free. Y'all want to charge me for the... Federal judge granted compassionate early prison release to crooked ex-Chicago police officer Glen Lellan due to COVID-19 concerns. In order Friday, District Attorney Joan got y'all. Come on, once you got them all, why you let them go? Modified Llewellyn's 18-year sentence to time served for his role in the drug conspiracy, citing the disgraced former cop's severe obesity, hypertension, and heart condition. Fuck him. He didn't care about that old lady who, salute Ruben Contreras in the chat. He didn't care about that old lady who was terrified in that basement, kidnapped. He didn't care about her heart condition. He didn't care about her obesity or hypertension. Fuck out of here, man. That's some bullshit right there. You lost my trust. Joan got y'all. You ain't got them. Well, you got them out. That's what you did. Got them out of jail. See if I can find this unbastardized, unpaywalled. Wow, everybody gets out early. Mr. Officer. Here we go. Do this. Let's see if the Tribune didn't play me. But goddamn, they got ads all over the place. Get out of here. Ex-Chicago cop who kidnapped drug dealers ordered release from prison 6 years early. 6 years early. They did you a favor is what they did. Your fat ass was going to die in there. Just sweaty and fat and stupid looking. Look at you. Little walrus face motherfucker. Ex-Chicago cop who kidnapped, robbed drug dealers ordered release from prison 6 years. I don't like that, robbed drug dealers. They should just put robbed, period. Ex-Chicago cop who kidnapped and robbed people. You know what I'm saying? Because the man, these people, that's what they use. They'll use that to differentiate themselves from the people that they were robbing. You just as bad, if not worse, than that drug dealer. You actually worse than that drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? The drug dealer's putting in work. You just a carjacker, bitch. Former police officer Glen Lellan Center arrives at Dirksen U.S. Courthouse for his trial in 2012. Look, you gotta be a shriveled old fucking raisin now. If you was alcoholic, red-faced, red-nosed, then. Corrupt Chicago narcotics cop Glen Lellan, convicted of teaming up with a vicious gang member to kidnap and rob other drug dealers, has been ordered released from prison more than 6 years early due to the threat of coronavirus. Lellan, 64, was sentenced in 2013 to 18 years of prison for his conviction on federal narcotics conspiracy charges. Prosecutors said Lellan conspired with Saul Rodriguez. The officers paid confidential informant in 8 robberies and kidnappings between 1998 and 2006. In several robberies, Lellan showed up wearing his police vest and badge, hog-tied victims with plastic fasteners, and threatened violence if they did not comply, according to testimony at the 2012 trial. He should have never got out of jail. Funny how they released the crooked cop early for corona, but not the twins. They about to let the one die in prison because they thought he was faking. Absolutely, like, that's what I'm saying. They still classify and differentiate these people as if they're different from each other. They're not. Matter of fact, these cops were more violent than the twins were. That's a fact that we can tell from what we got out the story. You know what I'm saying? So even them, even the judge, even the courtroom, even the people that's giving away these pretty little get out of jail on COVID free deals, they're differentiating them too. And my thing is, I need these cops to understand you're no different than a crackhead that steals $10 a purse. You're no different from a needlehead that steals this, that, or the other. You're no different. You're no different. You're the same thing, man. You're the same thing. Jonathan Pantoja, you always speaking facts. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. J-Rock said, have you heard about the Pregnant girl in San Antonio, Texas that was kidnapped and killed with her boyfriend. They're thinking it's the cartel. I saw the story, but here's how I saw it. First of all, I was sick as a dog yesterday. I just sat my ass down. I ain't edit nothing. I ain't do nothing. I scrolled and I watched Blood In, Blood Out. And I watched a dope interview with the actors from Blood In, Blood Out and Burner, which I'm going to hip y'all to at the end of this live, that if you're into that type of shit, you can check out. But I saw that. And all I saw in the article was it said this one, this age, this one, this age, pregnant, this one, and all of them found dead. So, yeah, I ain't seen it. I'm gonna take a look and see what that's about. I appreciate you, J-Rock. I'm going to look into that. Maybe I'll cover that January 1st or 2nd or something like that. William Luther, end of the day, he left the force and decided for a life of crime, a.k.a. criminal. Takes one they're going to differentiate from. Yeah, yeah, like, you can't differentiate. You're a criminal, dog, period. The moment you take, just the smallest thing, you done crossed the line. Now, they've trained themselves in their mind to push that line further and further back because, we're America. We're the police. Nah, nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares. J-Rock said his pants were pulled down. That's why they think it was the cartel. See, here's the problem with us knowing people's calling cards. Because now, if his pants being pulled down is a calling card, then somebody else do it, and now we're thinking it's a cartel thing, and it was just some jerk off that picked up on the fact that that's one of their calling cards or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I'm gonna look into it though. That sounds like a bad thing when it's teenagers and pregnant women and shit like that. Like, to me, that shit is just crazy, dog. That's just next level. But they don't give a fuck. They do not care. They don't give a fuck, not even a little bit. Yeah, you're in the building. Salute, bro. Keep the fire coming. Appreciation to you. I absolutely will. Hundreds in the chat for that. Y'all still with me? I appreciate y'all. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do. And yeah, let's see what else. What other cushion they gave this piglet. Llewellyn was not scheduled to be released from a minimum security prison in Florida until November 2026. That's when he should have got out. 2026. Whenever they told him, that's when he should have got out. In ordering Llewellyn released, however, U.S. District Attorney Joan Gottschall said the former officer's age and health issues, which include severe obesity, hypertension, and a heart condition, put him at an elevated risk for contracting a severe case of COVID-19. Y'all didn't, whatever, man. Y'all didn't care when Jay's face swelled up like this, and the man had toxic shock, and what's it called? The the infection, sepsis. You know what I'm saying? All of that, y'all didn't give a shit. Y'all let that dude swell up and die in there. Maybe if his last name was Llewellyn, maybe he would have got out. Maybe if he carried that little plastic badge, because that's what your badge was, Llewellyn. Jerome, all you dirty cops, you never had a real badge. You never served the people. You was never real police. Y'all was punks. Y'all got punked. You want to play the game, and then you want to turn around and say that's not the game we play. You a lie. Prosecutors had objected to Llewellyn's release, in part because there's been only one inmate where he is housed who has tested positive for the virus. See? If he did get the disease, Llewellyn would get adequate medical care within prison system, prosecutors argue. Gottschall, however, said there was evidence that the U.S. Bureau of Prisons has struggled to contain the spread of virus inside its facility. She also says she believed they're cronies somehow. She believed Llewellyn has been rehabilitated since his arrest in Las Vegas a decade ago and took the government to task for what she said was an overstatement of his crimes. Gottschall, you are a little piglet too. You know what I'm saying? You are a supreme piglet. A Palpatine powered piglet. You know what I mean? Sitting up there on the throne. You are in cahoots with this man. I saw in the first thing that we read that he had 40 years. Now we talking about 18. 18 that was brought down to 12. This lady fighting the prosecutors for him. This lady stating on the record that she believes he's been rehabilitated. You ain't the parole board, bitch. You know what I'm saying? You ain't the parole board. It ain't your place to say if he's rehabilitated or not. Quote, for whatever it's worth, this court sat through his lengthy trial, and while it found Llewellyn's conduct heinous, it also found the government's view of Llewellyn's role as the CEO exaggerated. A cop being a CEO of an organization that kidnapped old people, kids, and everybody else, you know what I'm saying? And non-drug dealers, because he can't play the innocent Jerome role where Jerome's like, oh, they said we were robbing innocent people. I never took nothing from innocent people. Well, if you ask me, the lady in the bar, it wasn't about kilos for them. It was about money, right? The dude at the rim shop wasn't about kilos for them. It was about money, right? So you were stealing from innocent people. So for her to say that his role as CEO is exaggerated, you can't exaggerate a cop being a CEO of an organization that kidnaps innocent people. She's a piglet. And I hope she hears it. I hope her kids hear it. If she's still living, whatever. Piglet. I ain't never going to be in front of your court. You know what I'm saying? You could kiss my entire ass. For whatever it's worth, this court sat through his lengthy trial, and while it found Llewellyn's conduct heinous, it also found the government's view of Llewellyn's role as a CEO exaggerated. Gottschall wrote in her 14-page order. The guardian angel characterization was more accurate. No, bitch. You're the guardian angel. He wasn't the guardian angel. You're the guardian angel. Sucia. May everybody he tortured, may all their pain live in your soul and in your bloodline and in your genes for many, many generations to come. May that pain be pushed forward through all of you motherfuckers. Because that's some dirty, filthy piglet shit right there. All right? Her decision marked the second time Gottschall has cut Llewellyn a break. Second time. Prosecutors had originally asked for a 30-year sentence. But the judge said at the time that the idea that he'd be a threat to the public again was fanciful. She is filthy. She should go to prison. She should go to jail. Llewellyn was allowed by the judge to live with a relative in Frankfurt. His lawyer, Joseph Lopez, said Llewellyn has served enough time and was happy he's coming home. Narcotics is a dirty business, and many law enforcement officers, whether federal or local, get caught up in these situations. Lopez said in this, yeah, it happens. You know, these cops that work narcotics, you know, it's a dirty business. It happens. Not supposed to. So shut it the fuck down, figure it the fuck out. But don't think we got to believe your excuses about the shit. Her decision marked the second time she cut him a break. So they went for a 30-year sentence, but the judge said the idea had been a threat to the public was fanciful. That's crazy. The idea that he'd be a threat to the public he was a threat to the public for a long time. He wasn't just a threat. He was an active threat. He was in action against the public. He was officially at war with the public, right? Through his minions of police and informants. Narcotics is a dirty business, and many law enforcement officers, whether federal or local, get caught up in these situations. Lopez said in a statement, it always starts with their snitches who they should never trust. A bunch of bitches. A spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office also was not immediately available to comment. Llewellyn, who joined the force in 1986, arrested Rodriguez for marijuana distribution in the mid-1990s and signed him up as a confidential informant, but then instructed him to continue to deal narcotics to find rivals to target for robberies, prosecutors alleged. For his supposed work as a confidential informant, Rodriguez eventually was paid more than $800,000 by the department, according to court records. We just saw the receipts. In addition, Llewellyn was able to persuade federal agents to drop an investigation of Rodriguez because of his high-level work as an informant, prosecutors said. As part of the conspiracy, Llewellyn tipped off Rodriguez about a federal wiretap and testified in federal court against one of Rodriguez's rivals, helping to secure a conviction, prosecutors said. Prosecutors said Llewellyn's partnership with Rodriguez continued after Llewellyn left the department in 2003. In all, Llewellyn helped steal more than 550 pounds of cocaine and about $3 million in cash, according to prosecutors. No, he's not a threat at all. He's a nice guy, rehabilitated. Come on, man. Joan got y'all. You're a pig, right along with him. Rodriguez's crew was taken down in dramatic fashion in 2009 in a Drug Enforcement Administration sting in which Rodriguez believed he and the crew were about to rob a Mexican cartel of $16 million in drugs. Llewellyn was arrested in 2010 in Las Vegas, where he had moved at about the time of Rodriguez's arrest. Yeah, you were separating yourself, chump. According to a recent court filing, when DEA agents approached him in a parking lot and told him they had a warrant for his arrest, Llewellyn replied, all of that happened over 5 years ago. This is the type of privilege that I be talking about. He's lost in his own mind, believing that he is so privileged that he could turn around and tell cops that came to him, that happened a long time ago, get off me about that. That's how ignorant and stupid and fucking dumb that he is. That would even come out of his mouth. Oh, but that was 5 years ago. You know how fucking stupid you sound? You walrus-looking bastard? What really sets him apart is how he used his knowledge of police procedure to protect the crew. Assistant U.S. Attorney Stephen Block told the judge at a sentencing hearing, the defendant was there to serve and protect the crew, not the people of Chicago. Facts. And guess who was there to protect the CEO? Joan Gottschall. She was there to protect the CEO. You, my dear, are the guardian angel. Rodriguez was sentenced in 2015 to 40 years in prison. Wah! He cried all over the fucking courtroom. Wah! I kidnap old ladies and kids. Wah! I'm not going to do bad no more. Wah! All right. Good luck, stupid. Rodriguez was sentenced in 2015 to 40 years in prison. Prosecutors described him as a one-man crime wave who ordered the killings of at least 3 men, kidnapped nearly 30 drug dealers, and trafficked in thousands of kilograms of cocaine. And it ain't just 3 men. One of the men was his supposed best friend. Like, it take a special kind of jerk off. You know what I'm saying? Take a special kind of asshole to be that foul and dirty. It's crazy. Wow. Salute, salute, salute. If you have yet to hit the like button, if you have yet to subscribe, please do. If you have yet to share it with a friend, tell your friends we talking that shit over here. All right. Well, we've come to the conclusion that Saul is a dirtbag. So is Glen Lellan, and so is Joan Gottschall. She's a dirtbag too. Pretty dirty dirtbag, that lady. See if I can find any Glen Lellan clips. He gonna have the nerve. That's the type of that's what I'm talking about. People get mad at me and be like, I don't believe all white people use their privilege. I don't believe all white people are bad. I mean, my family's too much of a melting pot of different, races and ethnicities for you to look at me a certain way when I say motherfucker got so much privilege that he turn around and tell the police, man, that was 5 years ago. Why y'all bothering me about that shit now? Like, what? But look what that judge lady did. That judge lady is dirty. Glen Gottschall. That's a dirty old lady right there. Joan Gottschall. Man interviewed about dead body in creek, arrested for murder hours later. Nah, that ain't what I'm looking for. Nah, they ain't got much on him either. Glen Lellan, you're a piece of shit. Saul Rodriguez, you're a bigger piece of shit. I mean, you're both huge, giant pieces of shit. And Joan got y'all. You are free on the outside. Don't need to be rehabilitated or get a COVID release. You're a piece of shit too. Super piece of shit. All right. That's our coverage of Saul for now. What a dirtbag. I think that's it. I think that's all I could find right now. Let me Google search him one more time. Look at his stupid face. Fact is, the Twins helped out those guys in a way too. Twins helped out those guys. Hold on, I can't see behind this little fucking heart. Those guys away too. I don't get the context. Think like a kingpin. Twins helped those guys get away. Yeah, the Twins helped those guys get away by not putting by not putting a bag on their head. Kato helped them get away too by not smoking dude when he pulled him out the car. And not just the Twins and Kato, whoever the fuck knew who he was, what he was, and how he was, and let him get away with that shit. They helped him too. Look at these stupid faces. I gotta look at this. Final round. Cartel Twins versus cop-backed kidnapper. Holy shit, what is this talking about? This is in April too. Same thing. Chicago sometimes wants to. No, don't allow. You don't need to know shit. Chicago sometimes. Y'all ain't gonna let me read this anyway. Dirty. That's okay. I just came here to steal your stupid picture. Oh, they don't show the whole thing. But let's take a look at this stupid fucking. Look at this dumb face. Let's see. Look at this. You don't even gotta see it. Look at this stupid fuck. They're like a couple of bottom feeding Disney characters and shit, like a cracked out walrus and some weird shrimp that sucks off the bottom of the ocean and shit. Crazy. I said the fact is the Twins helped out those guys in a way too. Yeah, everybody helped these guys out somehow. That judge is the one that helped Llewellyn's punk ass. Let's see. I don't see nothing. No updates. He's probably still in the joint crying. Rise and fall of 3 Chicago kingpins. Let's see what this is. I don't know what the. I don't know. All right, let's take a look at this. How do I get back? Jesus. Let's try this one more fucking time. Says here. Let me see if I can bring this down some. It's a lot finer print I'm gonna have to go through right here, but damn, this story is nuts. Alright, that ain't gonna work like that, so it's gonna have to go this way. Says here, rise and fall of 3 Chicago kingpins. Okay. Saul Rodriguez far left and the Twins Pedro Margarito Flores took different routes to the top and bottom of the city's drug world. Saul Rodriguez and the Flores twins took different routes to the top and bottom of the Chicago drug trade. How does this work? Aisle by aisle or across? Or what are we doing here? To Pedro Flores, the two men who pulled him over had looked like cops. But moments later, face down in the back of the windowless van, his hands and feet zip-tied, Flores realized he'd been duped. At 22, he had been quietly working with his twin brother Margarito to create the most successful drug-dealing partnership in Chicago's history. Now hog-tied, his diamond-studded cell phone out of reach, Flores was powerless. All he could do was whisper a prayer. Don't worry, one of his captors told him, once we get the money, we're going to cut you loose. The Flores twins will come to believe a man they thought was their friend, Saul Rodriguez, was behind the kidnapping. I wonder if they knew. No, evidently they didn't, because Jay had to call and ask somebody. But it's like, man, you meet people all the time. You don't know what their filth is. A man they thought was their friend, Saul Rodriguez, was behind their kidnapping. They had known Rodriguez for a few years, and at the time of the kidnapping, as Pedro Flores rode to his uncertain fate, they had plans to go with Rodriguez to Las Vegas to see a welterweight title match. Rodriguez arranged the tickets. The twins and Rodriguez were all big-time drug dealers, but the similarities ended there. While the twins were loath to resort to violence, Rodriguez reveled in it. According to the Sun-Times, review of court records and interviews with law enforcement and underworld figures. At the time of the kidnapping in September 2003, might have seemed like Rodriguez's knockout blow to the twins. But 11 years after, Pedro Flores was snatched from an alley behind his family's Southwest Side home. He and his brother appeared to have been playing a longer, smarter game, rope-a-dope. But 11 years after Pedro Flores was snatched from an alley behind his family's Southwest Side home, he and his brother appeared to have been playing a longer, smarter game, rope-a-dope. Rope-a-dope style. On Friday, when Rodriguez faces sentencing in Chicago for a career of killings, remember, that's the sentencing when he cried like a baby. He cried like a little baby. On Friday, when Rodriguez faces sentencing in Chicago for career killings, home invasion, and drug trafficking, a federal judge will pass final judgment on the twins and Rodriguez's contrasting roots to the top of Chicago's underworld. Set them up or rip them off. There we go. This is... So this is the same as the article that I'm reading right now. It's the same words. Boom, boom, boom. Don't worry. Top of Chicago's set them up or rip them off. Yeah, so we're reading the same article right here. Rodriguez grew up on the South Side where he ran with a street gang called La Raza. By the time Pedro Flores was kidnapped, Rodriguez had organized several kidnappings and personally participated in the abduction, torture, and murder of another drug dealer. If he wasn't ripping off his rivals, he was setting them up. He had a sweet deal with the cops. Rodriguez not only sold his own large amounts of heroin and cocaine when he tipped the Chicago police off to his rival's stashes. The Flores twins started out as customers of Rodriguez, purchasing 15 to 20 kilos at a time, but through their father, they had a link directly to Mexican cartels. Soon the amounts of marijuana, cocaine, and heroin they would be moving would dwarf anything Rodriguez had ever seen. He also got paid for every kilo the cops recovered. We saw the receipts. In the 4 years leading up to 2000, Rodriguez netted $800,000 in fees for his police tips, a figure that likely made him the department's highest paid employee. Want to see who the department CPD's highest paid employee was between 98 or 96 and 2000? Here we go, right there. This fucking guy. His handlers, narcotics officer Glen Lellan, became his partner in crime, tipping him off about police operations and using his badge to carry out kidnappings at Rodriguez's behest. But he was rehabilitated, according to Joan Gotchall. Pendeja. Emboldened by the police protection, Rodriguez became a boxing promoter and branched into real estate, building a strip of townhomes in the Brighton Park neighborhood and investing in a Nevada golf course development. Bruh. But he took wild risks. A notorious womanizer, he slept with his flunkies, wives, and regularly partied in Vegas. See, that's the type of dirtbag. It's okay for him to creep on your girl. It's not okay for you to creep on his girl. Oh, eyeliner wearing bitch. Look at him. But he took wild risks, blah, 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 blah. But he took wild womanizer. He slept with his flunkies' wives and regularly partied in Vegas where he laundered money and had all the perks of a high roller. Nobody around him was safe. He had his best friend killed, even a pal whom he'd once helped escape from a Mexican prison, then set up in the drug business, became a target. Extravagance and restraint. If experience had taught Rodriguez that violence and double-crossing provided big rewards, it taught the Flores twins something else. From a young age, they were groomed for a life amid drug world royalty. When they were just 8, the twins rode with their father as he drove from Mexico to Chicago in a vehicle packed with marijuana. Their dad went to prison and their older brother Armando took over the family business. Then he got in trouble with the law too, so the twins learned the value of discretion. Not so much. They started out as customers of Rodriguez, purchasing 15 to 20 kilos at a time, but through their father, they had a link directly to Mexico's cartel. Soon the amounts of marijuana, cocaine, and heroin they'd be moving would dwarf anything Rodriguez had ever seen. Before they turned 25, they controlled the Sinaloa cartel's distribution network across the Midwest and into Canada, moving an estimated $1.8 billion in drugs through Chicago. With the near monopoly of the Chicago's drug supply came riches and toys, custom chopper motorcycles, Lexuses, and Bentleys in their own real estate empire. Ruben Contreras. So if I'm fat, I can get out of jail faster too? No, if you gotta be fat and a cop, and you have to be you have to have a guardian angel named Joan Gottschall, a judge. If you got those things, Ruben, and you got to change your name, you definitely cannot be Ruben Contreras and get out early on a COVID release. I'm sorry, papas. It's just not going to happen. Joan's not having it. She's never going to say that Ruben Contreras was rehabilitated. I'm sorry, papas. It ain't you. It's them. With the near monopoly of Chicago drug supply came riches, toys, blah, blah. With the typical drug dealer extravagance, though, came some uncommon restraint. Where lesser dealers might have settled unpaid debts with bullets, the Flores twins simply cut bad debtors off to avoid police attention. Which is such an anomaly, because mind you, it is the thing that makes sense, right? It makes sense that you can't just be hot and having bodies everywhere, right? I just expect the body or two because that's the nature of the game, but it's an anomaly in itself, Flores twins simply cut off bad debtors to avoid police attention. They did not cut off fingers to teach people about paying, said a source intimately familiar with the brothers' methods. But that restraint would turn into a reputation for weakness that Rodriguez would exploit. I know people who were terrified of Rodriguez. His reputation was a no-nonsense, trigger-happy kind of dude, said attorney Joseph the Shark Lopez, who has represented dozens of players in Chicago's drug world. The Flores brothers were just drug dealers, gentlemen drug dealers. They were afraid of him. The Wrecking Crew. Rodriguez met with the twins in the early 2000s at Hoops, a basketball gym in the near west side. After 3 years of friendship, he was ready to pounce. He assembled the crew out of Central Casting. In addition to the crooked cop Llewellyn, there was a suburban mom whose day job was driving an ambulance, but who also acted as a drug courier and once arranged the kidnapping of her own grandmother. So not only was he the super dirtbag, right? Not only was he a super dirtbag, but he was able to find all the super dirtbags that were able to kidnap their own grandmothers and shit. She cashed in on the kidnapping twice. After family members paid the ransom, the woman comforted her unwitting grandmother, telling her grandmother that she paid the ransom herself and would need to be repaid. She pulled the same scam that pinche Saul was doing. Just dirty people. And them the type of dirty motherfuckers that be mad at me for calling them dirty. Like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of high horse to sit on to be mad at me telling you to go fuck yourself. You just a dirty, filthy pig, rat, fucking worm, snake hybrid. So she cashed in on the kidnapping twice. Rodriguez's muscle came from the wrecking crew, 3 oversized brothers named Manny, Hector, and Jorge Uriarte. Rounding up the bunch was Perez Umar, a heavy-set thug who hosted the crew at his Al Capone-themed wedding. The crew had been watching the twins' daily routine for some time when in the summer of 2003, one of the twins' associates tipped Rodriguez about their movements. Another dirtbag in the camp. The plan was for Umar and Lellan to disguise themselves as undercover cops riding in a green Ford Crown Vic they had tricked out with lights and sirens. It worked perfectly. When Pedro pulled up to the 3-flat where he lived with his brother near Archer and Keeler, he spotted the fake cop car, did a U-turn, and parked in an alley. Moments later, after Pedro's brother and a pal left on motorcycles, Lellan and Umar pulled up in the Crown Vic, frisked Pedro, and tossed him in the panel van, which headed to a home in West Suburban Burbank, owned by one of the crew members. At the home, the crew tied the blindfolded Pedro to a chair in a basement and kept him there for 24 hours. A pet parrot trained by the kidnappers kept him company. Fuck you, the parrot squawked. Rodriguez came by but was just discreet, since he feared Pedro Flores could identify him. He left the negotiations to his crew, who reassured Flores he'd be okay if his brother came through with the ransom, 100 keys of cocaine worth at least $1.5 million. At first, Margarito Flores did not come through. Threatened with the murder of his twin, Margarito showed cold-blooded detachment by trying to cheat the kidnappers with a load of weak cocaine. Only after a furious Pedro Flores called his brother, reminding him his life was on the line, did Margarito make good on the ransom and Pedro was freed. You know, we dealt with that too. Like, I felt like that too. Like, Jay, you playing right now. You know what I'm saying? This ain't time to be playing. Only after a furious boom. Just a couple of months later, the twins traveled to Las Vegas to see Oscar De La Hoya fight Sugar Shane Mosley at the MGM Grand. Rodriguez had arranged for their tickets and hotel. A couple months later, so this is after the fact. Hold the fucking phone. Only after a furious Pedro Flores called his brother, reminding him his life was on the line, did Margarito make good on the ransom and Pedro was freed. Just a couple of months later, the twins traveled to Las Vegas to Oscar. So so that means if we're believing what Surviving El Chapo tells us, that means they went to this fight already knowing that it was him and didn't let the cat out the bag, and you let him book rooms for you? Something weird in the timeline there. Just a couple of months later, the twins traveled to Las Vegas to see Oscar De La Hoya fight Shane Mosley at the MGM Grand. Rodriguez had arranged for their tickets and hotel. Though the twins suspected Rodriguez, they said nothing when they partied with him at the nightclub after the fight. Okay, that makes sense. If you still running a game on him, you don't let the cat out the bag that you know what's what. When Margarito Flores lost money at the gambling tables, Rodriguez was only too happy to lend them a big wad of cash, of course. It all comes crashing down. And that, for a few years, was that. If the kidnapping was not forgotten, it became a footnote, just one in a series of wild escapes that would mark a dizzy 5-year spell of excess for Rodriguez and the Flores twins. By the time they were federally indicted in Milwaukee in 2005, the twins had already fled to Mexico. They grew their empire in exile, gaining in stature after they enjoyed personal audiences with the boss of the powerful Sinaloa cartel, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman himself. Flown into meetings at El Chapo's secret mountaintop lair, the twins secured the rights to distribute cocaine by the ton through Chicago. Back in Chicago, Rodriguez was still playing a lower level game. His crew eventually ripped off at least 29 other dealers. So they were just running with impunity, just snatching everybody up, doing whatever they wanted to do. 29 other dealers. In one particularly ruthless turn, a cartel hired Rodriguez to investigate a robbery, not knowing Rodriguez had done it himself. Rodriguez happily found an innocent suspect to torture. This guy will steal shit and then help you look for it, and then put one of his guys in front of you to be the one that he said took it, and then smoke him for you. This guy was a piece of shit. Happily found an innocent suspect to torture. Rodriguez wasn't finished with the Flores twins either. While they were in hiding in Mexico, he kidnapped their top courier and stole $4 million more. When Rodriguez's crew members found hidden loot at a Flores stash house, they shouted bingo. Then it all came crashing down. Rodriguez's crew was busted in the Drug Enforcement Administration sting when they were robbing a Jolie. Hold on. While they were hiding in Mexico, he kidnapped their top courier and stole $4 million more. When Rodriguez's crew members found hidden loot at a Flores stash house, they shouted bingo. Yeah. Then it all came crashing down. Rodriguez's crew was busted in the Drug Enforcement Administration sting when they were robbing a Joliet area warehouse that Rodriguez believed was loaded with the twins' drugs, sources say. The Flores twins' run came to an end when they found themselves caught in the middle of a deadly cartel war between El Chapo and rival boss they'd also dealt with. So they must have got him. So in the end, they got him. There's a whole cooperation chain of events right here. Oh, shit. Damn. That's what it sounds like to me. I didn't know that I had an inkling, but I didn't know that the two cases was, connected, that the fake drop that he grabbed he thought it was their drop. Wow, so they got him. They got their revenge in the end. The Florence twins' runs came to an end when they found themselves caught in the middle of a deadly cartel war between El Chapo and rival boss they'd also dealt with. Calculating to the end and at the height of their power, the twins made a business decision to turn themselves into taking the monumental decision to become the biggest drug snitches in U.S. history. The twins had much to offer. They risked their lives recording cartel leaders in incriminating conversations, and they tapped El Chapo in a phone call that tied him to a heroin deal on Chicago's west side. Dozens of indictments flowed from their cooperation. The feds rewarded them with the blockbuster deal. Their family was placed in witness protection, and the twins, who were sentenced to just 14 years in prison earlier this year. So this is an very old article. Who were sentenced to just 14 years in prison earlier this year, will likely be free by the time they are 41 years old, and may have millions of dollars in hidden drug money waiting. Everyone in the city thinks you have money, the judge who sentenced them acknowledged. Rodriguez, by contrast, had little to give. He too cut a deal with prosecutors, but all he could offer was his testimony against Lellan, his daddy. He snitched on his daddy, the corrupt cop, and a handful of lesser dealers. So following his capture, he tried one last trick. Incarcerated at downtown Metropolitan Correctional Center in 2008, he managed to get himself appointed as an orderly in the segregated housing unit. Inside the unit, held in solitary confinement, was one of the cartel bosses the Flores twins had secretly recorded. The boss, Vicente Zambada Niebla, the playboy son of El Chapo's second-in-command, wanted the twins dead and was prepared to pay for information. Rodriguez told what he knew, sharing the intel that helped his crew kidnap Pedro Flores all those years ago. So he gave them just the same information he had from when they snatched up Pete. Zambada paid Rodriguez's lawyer $6,000, but Rodriguez's involvement with the cartel chief ended up costing him far more. When the feds discovered what Rodriguez had done, they tore up his original deal and are now asking that he get 40 years behind bars on Friday. If U.S. District Judge Joan Gottschall, who's a failure and a disgrace, agrees, the Flores brothers will have prevailed, even though they had endured blow after blow from Rodriguez. As any Vegas eye maker can tell you, there's only one winner in a fight between a brawler and a boxer with a plan. Jesus Christ. Mind you, this is just one caveat of this fucking story. There's so many different wrinkles, and this is a film in itself. The relationship between Saul and the twins and the cops and all of this shit, that's one movie by itself. That's not even the Flores twins story. That has nothing to do with, 99.9% of the other shit that they get into throughout their life and throughout their stories. Bananas. What's up? Y'all still with me? Y'all still awake? We still here? We hanging out? It's getting dark out in Chicago. What we talking about here? 4:37 in Chicago. Salute to y'all. Hunters in the chat. We still up in here. Wow. Old punk ass Saul. Shameful, shameful, shameful. You had it all coming to you, Papa. You deserve all of the worst. All of the worst. May all the worst, what Dave Chappelle say? May all the bad things in the world happen to you and no one else. Wow. Damn. So he had it coming, huh? They got their revenge eventually. Got their fucking revenge eventually. All right, that took longer than I thought. We've been here over 2. We didn't find no video on them, but we found mad articles. So as far as I'm concerned, he's just still in the joint, crying in the joint about, he want to be a good man now. Why you mad, bro? You can't be mad. How dare you be mad? Should be ashamed of yourself. Trying to be mad. You can't be mad. What a dirtbag. Old Soul still in the chat. I don't think like a kingpin still in the chat because he's laughing. And one sec. See if there's anything else I can pull up. But I don't see nothing, man. That guy's a dirtbag. Now, how many people kicking themselves in the ass because they double paid a ransom? Double paid a ransom to their sobrino and shit, and didn't even know it was their filthy ass sobrino, their filthy ass nephew, cousin, or whatever, sticking them up for $100,000 here, $50,000 there, like with the help of the police, punk ass police. All right, y'all, we're gonna get into a chapter cartel wise because why not? We here. We let Saul beat us in the ear with all his filthiness, dirty rotten pig. Let's get Cartel Wives chapter 17 because we here before I check out, and then what I'll do is then I'll edit episode 2 of Finnegan's Take. I'll edit chapter 16 and 17 of Cartel Wives, edit that Saul part, and get all of that out this week for the people that were not here with us for the live. You know what I mean? Salutes to them too. May they hit the like button in the future. Wow. That's a whole lot. A whole lot of dirty. His best friend, dog. His best friend. Okay, because his best friend, and they say, oh, his best friend slept with his girl. I don't even think it had to be that serious. For suckers like that, it don't have to be that serious. You don't have to sleep with his girl. You can sleep with a girl that he liked in third grade and never touched. And a sucker like Saul is gonna feel the same way that he felt about, him saying that his best friend smashed his girl. Now he'll feel the same way if he smashed a girl he liked in third grade that had nothing to do with him. He's a dirtbag. It is what it is. All right, y'all. We going into Cartel Wives chapter 17. Last thing we saw was what? Last thing we saw was, I don't even remember, dog. I was sick. Last thing we talked about, they did the weddings. They got through the weddings. Babies. We saw babies come into the fray. Extortion came into the fray. He asked for his ring back. They got into their deal with Chapo and started making their papers. So we're going to go on from there. Cartel Wives, chapter 17. I appreciate y'all being here with me. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Make sure you share. Let's get it.
This is going a little too far.
Oh, shit.
Olivia. Not only was 2006 the best year business-wise for Junior and Peter.
That's what it was. They gave us the logistic background on the business. And that was a lot of information. And they were telling us about their peak year and their peak time in the game.
It was also one of my happiest years at home. I was so caught up with Brandon, trying to be a good wife and mother, that I stopped being a busybody and stayed out of Junior and Peter's business. I was obsessively in love with my family, encased in this bubble, in complete denial of what was really happening around me. But I didn't care. I felt safe and secure, and most of all, happy. I even let go of my music career. For 2 years, I'd been flying from Mexico to Miami to New York, then back to LA to record, and it became too overwhelming. Junior and I had devoted so much time bringing famous producers, songwriters, and engineers down from the States to Mexico City. And we'd spend weeks at a time in our recording studio working with them. We had strong ties and close relationships to music executives and top artists. And if there was a connection, it was ours. I was even presented with the opportunity to sign Drake before he signed to Cash Money Records.
God damn.
But the
That's missed the boat. But again, who knows how that would have gone if they did sign him, whatever, things happen. Sometimes it has to be the perfect storm. It has to be the perfect explosion and of kinetic energy for things to happen, for an artist to blow the way Drake did. Was his talent good enough for him to do that with whoever was marketing him? You know what I'm saying? Or was it meant that Lil Wayne had to show him to the world? You know what I mean? Who knows? But that right there, it's a lot of money y'all left on the table right there. In the least, getting him on paper somewhere, y'all might have still had a piece right now.
music was too consuming, and the business was too demanding. My family needed me. I let my career slide, and Junior supported my decision. He just wanted me to be happy. With more time on our hands, Cancun became our favorite spot. We'd take the whole family down on long vacations with us, sometimes months at a time. And once we realized we were there constantly, we decided to buy a condo. All of Junior and Peter's wholesalers and employees came to visit, and when we weren't there, they used it as a vacation house. Sometimes me and Peter would watch Brandon while Junior and I would go to dinner. The next night, they'd head out to the same restaurant, and the waiters would give the guys dirty looks because they thought they were living double lives. During the day, we did family things like going out to the pyramids, or we'd take Brandon in the pool. He'd swim around with his floaties, then beg Junior to throw him up in the air and catch him as he came up from the water like a little fish. When he'd get tired, The three of us would lie in the cabana as he fell asleep on his daddy's chest. As we watched the sunset, Junior and I would hold hands. It was heaven, and I know I was just fooling myself, but at the time I thought, why try to fix something that isn't broken?
See, sometimes you just gotta ride out them good times as long as possible and just don't say nothing, cause you never know when shit's about to change. Shout out Big Chains in the chat. Salutes to you, brother. He said, "What's up, bro? Let you know you're doing an outstanding job. Keep doing your thing. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Salutes to you for that. Thank you very much. We gonna keep delivering, bro. That's just what we do around here."
Mia. It really was heaven. Peter and I moved into a 5,000 square foot penthouse that had been owned by the famous singer Alejandro Fernandez, the son of legendary singer Vicente Fernandez. It had white Italian marble everywhere.
I don't know if y'all heard that, or if I might have hit the wrong button. I don't know. But again, Big Changs, salute. He said, "What's up, bro? Let you know you're doing your thing. Outstanding job. Keep doing your thing, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here." I had the mic off when I looked up. Don't know if it was. It's been a long stream. We did a lot of reading. My eyes are a little burnt out right now.
20-foot ceilings and windows wrapped around from one end to another. The master walk-in closet was the size of a studio apartment, and the elevator opened up right at the front entrance. The only thing I had to worry about was how I looked and whether Peter was stressed about his day. I never had to cook or clean, and I always tried, but Peter wouldn't let me. "Mia, what are you doing?" He'd yell at me. "You better not be cooking." Then he'd come up behind me and kiss me. We never wanted to leave that house, and there we shared our deepest feelings and secrets with each other. There was hardly a minute when we weren't laughing about something. We'd sit on our balcony, listening to music, looking over the city every single night. We decided we were tequila connoisseurs, and we tried every top-shelf tequila known to man. Plus, their business was still growing by leaps and bounds. Chapo would check on Peter and Junior more often, and he always made a point to ensure that our family was safe. Life was just getting easier, and money was rolling in. Peter and Junior had branched out to Atlanta and New York and into Canada, and because of that, my husband's brain was just lighting up with ideas. Every day it was something new, made possible with the help of all the new people he and Junior had met.
Olivia.
Them boys had North America on lock. They even had the Canadians serving the Canadians, all right? Damn.
After their dad's kidnapping, Junior's friend Sobrino, who he'd met at Tony Roma's, set up a meeting with his uncle, La Puerca, or El Animal. His real name was Manuel Fernandez Valencia, and he was both Chapo's close associate and Mocomo's compadre in the BLO. Puerca lived in Mérida and the Yucatan in a beautiful 20,000 square foot hacienda with horse stables on his grounds. As Peter and Junior sat in one of his grand rooms, their voices echoing as they discussed business, Puerca told them he had his own tunnels from Mexicali to Calexico and his own routes to the border. They partnered with him, which allowed them to grab less work in the States and more in Mexico. Apparently, with greater risks came huge profits.
Mia. Through Chapo, they'd connected with one of his lifelong friends, Alfredo Vasquez Hernandez, and his wife, Maria. Chapo and Alfredo were so close that Chapo had named his son Alfredillo after him.
Listen, there's too many three-named individuals in these stories to keep up with it, especially if in the book they're going to be changing the three names and interchanging them from what we heard in the podcast. You wildin' with the three names.
Alfredo was Chapo's logistics operator, making sure the cartel's drugs were loaded onto their trains, semis, or 747s. In Mexico, there was no credit, so Peter and Junior had to pay for their loads up front. Maria owned a currency exchange, and she started changing our money from pesos to dollars or vice versa. getting it from point A to point B. She would charge 5% from Chicago to Mexico and 3% from LA. This sounds like a lot. When they moved $20 million, she could net up to $1 million. But it was additional security because the money was guaranteed. Suddenly, they'd solved one of the difficult parts of getting money across the border. The cash was coming in faster than Peter and Junior could move it, so they invested in a private plane with Maria, paying $1 million each for it. Maria would go shopping and use her bags to take attention away from the suitcases of $5 or $10 million she'd picked up from Junior and Peter's workers at a small airport by the naval base in Kenosha, Wisconsin, or in Torrance, California, or in Long Beach, California. After she handed over the cash to them, Peter and Junior would reinvest it that day.
Olivia. Their infrastructure in LA was one of their biggest challenges. They had to build a machine from the ground up in a city that wasn't familiar to them, and it took research, time, and learning from other people's mistakes to bring together a great team.
They were definitely watchers. You know what I'm saying? Watching what the fuck is going on. How can this help us in what we're doing? How can that help us in what we're doing? How can we make this work? Functionality, super important. Shout out Big Chains in the chat. Says, I get a kick out of it because I know a lot of situations that occurred in the past with a lot of different individuals, especially on the case, being in the middle. Well, salute to you, Big Chain. Well, feel free to chime in and run any of that information in the chat while we're talking about it. And if you hear me wrong somewhere, you let me know. Think Like a Kingpin 100. Appreciate y'all for being here. We figuring out how these fools was getting their money flipped from pesos to dollars, vice versa. Chicks with planes, like, you got to be observant. Again, like that conversation, I don't know if it was J or P, what they had with the dude. They just meet dude, they start talking small talk. Oh, yeah, the Cubs hat on. Boom, next thing you know, that's somebody they needed for something that they needed bad. You know what I mean? I think it was a way to get Jay in front of the man to help Peter out. You know what I'm saying? Like, just from a chance encounter with somebody, those relationships are crazy. But then again, you meet somebody like that too. Next thing you don't know is that there's Saul Rodriguez, and now they got the tamale lady kidnapped and the eloteros kidnapped, and you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. So you never know who you're meeting, man. You gotta learn how to read people. Pay attention.
But it paid off. At their peak, the route through LA was so successful that they had 2 to 4 drivers on the road constantly. Junior and Peter always had a plan B. They invested about $600,000 in a furniture company that used trains to ship goods. They'd hide drugs in the walls of the rail cars. It was slow, but it was guaranteed with hardly any risk. The furniture company was their only legitimate business, but they also spent money on dozens and dozens of semis with hydraulic stashes that concealed their drug shipments. These semis and trains would bring the drugs into a city, but to get the drugs from place to place within that town, they commissioned custom-fitted cars. These vehicles were crazy. To get to the hidden drugs, you'd have to get in the car, fasten your seatbelt, put the car into drive, then press a certain button like the defrost or back window to trigger it. You'd hear this whoosh sound, and the whole back or floor would open using hydraulics. In these secret compartments, you could fit about 100 kilos, or maybe $1 to $2 million. Bigger vehicles like pickup trucks could hold 150 kilos. The people who drove these cars wore ties and dress shirts, like white-collar workers, not drug runners.
You know what would be interesting? I think I'm going to get GTA 6 when that shit drops, get PlayStation, and just recreate their whole system. Because them fools had something on everything that was flying, everything that was rolling, everything on a track, everything that was getting pulled, pushed, whatever. There was worker money coming back and forth on that shit. Big Chain said what I meant by that is listening to P and then B Vincente's side, even Chino Anthrax, all that. Yeah, I feel you. No, we in here, dog. We're gonna keep covering up that, and I'm gonna get into other situations. Just this story don't never end. You know what I'm saying? This shit is forever. It gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do on GTA. I'm gonna create their whole system because there was something moving through everywhere.
They didn't want to attract the cops' attention, so they were clean cut, and they didn't run red lights or speed. This was ground-level drug transport, but Peter and Junior had elevated it to an art form, with a fleet equipped with the latest technology.
Mia. With more direct control of transport, things became increasingly intense. Peter became such a micromanager, making up all kinds of rules for his workers. Don't even say where the stash house is over the phone. Or, walk through the house exactly the same way every day. Don't leave any mail in the mailbox. He'd make his people confirm accounts every time they went into the house, and if they took any kilos away from the stash, he would have them put them to the side, then recount the kilos that were there. He even made them wear gloves so they would never leave fingerprints on the kilos. He knew that cleaning up the mess from a problem was harder than just getting it right the first time.
It's nacho cheese.
Olivia. Their employee relationships got more sophisticated, too. They had this idea to build a team, so they'd have not only the best prices but also consistency. There are a lot of traffickers who don't have a steady drug flow, which means no cash flow, so no day-to-day workers. You need stable, happy employees who are on your team, pushing the drugs out and bringing the money in. This was a dangerous business, so the more comfortable you were with the people you worked with, the better. Junior and Peter spent a lot of time building trust and good relationships. They wanted serious commitments, not a bunch of one-night stands with suppliers or customers. That can cause a lot of trouble. You could end up with the wrong person and get burned.
Saul, you can end up with that motherfucker.
Mia. With so much more to manage and so many more people, Peter and Junior went from having 20 lines each to 30 or 40 each. It was insane. They never put two people on one phone. Their cash counter at one stash in Chicago got one. The guy who delivers money got another, and the head of their furniture company had another. We would put little stickers on each phone.
Bro, it's enough to where when the fuck do you get to sleep? When do you get to eat? You know what I mean? Like, it seems just like an exhaustive process that doesn't stop. When you want to go sit on a beach somewhere, the game don't stop. A custody's on a 24-hour clock. Shit just don't end. It just don't stop like that.
On with someone's initials. These phones would last a few weeks, then they'd destroy them and get another burner phone with a new number. We even had one phone designated for pizza orders because in this business, you never had a home phone.
Olivia. Before Chapo met Junior and Peter, he'd never answer his phone. He had people do it for him. But seeing Junior and Peter with all those burner phones must have inspired him because he started doing it himself. He labeled them just like my husband and his brother did too. Those phones were the first thing Sean Penn wrote about in his Rolling Stone story about his meeting with Chapo. And when I read it, I just laughed and thought to myself, I bet Sean Penn thinks Chapo's so original. Little does he know.
That's my game.
Mia. Our husbands were so busy, but it didn't take them away from us emotionally. If anything, they wanted us closer to them. Having a wife and family took a lot of the pressure off, or at least some of it. Peter wanted his life to be as routine as possible outside of work, which is why he went everywhere with me. I remember once I was about to leave to get a manicure. "Where are you going?" he said. "To get my nails done." "I'm going with you." And he followed me right out the door. I sat under the UV light waiting for my polish to dry, and there he was with his bag of phones, just hanging out with me. It's not that he didn't trust me, and he wasn't worried I'd be hurt. After his kidnapping, we had security to make sure nothing ever happened to one of us. He just wanted to be with me, like a regular husband who was so bored he'd decided to join his wife at the nail parlor. I suppose it made him forget all his problems. I imagine it...
He can't forget. The problem's ringing right in his bag. There's no way you got 50 phones listen, some people got one phone, and just in talking and being social, I know people who their phones ringing all day, and I'm looking at them like, yo, you don't own businesses, you don't none of this stuff, and you just constantly on the phone. So that's one person. So I can imagine 50 phones with a business. There's got to be maybe a collective 10 minutes in 24 hours that one of them bitches ain't ringing. Like, when do you got time to sit down?
It gave him a sense of peace.
Olivia. The Mexican government had started to squeeze the cartels in 2006 and 2007, and everyone from Chapo down was feeling it. They were reacting to it with full-on terror. On December 1st, 2006, Felipe Calderón was elected president of Mexico, and 10 days later, he sent 6,500 army troops to the state of Michoacán, just southeast of Guadalajara, to fight the cartels. They fought back, and over the next 6 years, almost 85,000 people would die because of cartel violence.
Crazy.
Mia. Terrible things were happening near the border. In 2007, Chapo and Mayo went to war with the Juarez cartel in an attempt to take over the highly active, lucrative drug smuggling route from Ciudad Juarez to El Paso, a city of over 1.5 million that's just over the Rio Grande. Ciudad Juarez had always been different than its smaller sister city, but when the turf war began, the gap between the two grew even bigger. In 2007, Ciudad Juarez recorded 300 homicides. By 2008, that number hit 1,500. In 2010, there were over 3,000. Over all that time, El Paso's murder rate hovered around 3 to 5 per year. It was the safest city to live in the U.S.
Olivia. All during 2007, Junior and I took business trips to Ciudad Juarez, and we witnessed the mayhem. I remember seeing the streets filled with federal police. It was obvious that the Mexican government had sent up the army to fight the cartels. I would sit there and worry my head off, thinking, I've never felt more unsafe in my life. Then I'd cross the border and go shopping in El Paso just to get away, and it was like night and day. The violence had gotten worse in Culiacán, too. When Junior and I would go there a few times a month, the newspapers would be full of pictures of dismembered people, their body parts scattered everywhere, or photos that showed dozens of bodies hanging from bridges, with banners on them sending messages to their enemies.
So she was comfortably bouncing back and forth. She wasn't no fugitive. Surprised they didn't pick up on that. You know? You know, 1 minute you watching the army's sitting there waiting to deal with any cartel beef. You just cross the border, go shopping, no big deal.
Newspapers in Mexico are not like in the United States, where they blur out blood or gunshot wounds. There, they show everything. Those images were one of the things that pulled me out of the bubble I'd created after I had Brandon. When I saw them, I realized that could be Junior. I started thinking about these people's poor wives and kids who would have to grow up without a father. I'd been the wife whose husband got murdered, so I knew what it felt like firsthand. It was eating away at Junior, too. And with so many people dying because of the cartel wars, it would soon be too much.
Mia. Then all this talk about submarines started.
Olivia.
That was her part. Mia. And then all of this talk of submarines started, and bam. Think like a kingpin in the chat said, Big Chongo, you know them? I'll conversate in the chat.
Chapo's transportation system had always been out of hand. To get drugs from Colombia to Mexico, he'd taken control of thousands of container ships and had a fleet of 747s. He had more planes than Aeromexico Airlines. In each plane, he took out the seats, then filled them with clothes or supplies, supposedly for humanitarian missions. He'd unload those goods in Colombia, then reload them with 12,000 kilos of coke. That's 14 tons. All that coke would make its way back to Mexico, where corrupt federal officials would help unload it. Then it would find its way via train, tractor-trailer, bus, or secret tunnel to the vehicles with secret compartments like my husband had built. These systems weren't foolproof, though, and Chapo was always looking to improve his transport. So he decided to invest in submarines. He bought one sub from the Russians, then started manufacturing others.
All right, I didn't add submarines and boats to the equation when I said, I said they had everything on wheels, everything push-pulled, everything in the air, now everything under the water, too. Had some work in it.
In Colombia for $1 million each.
Or some money.
The plan was to have 10 submarines in the water at a time, holding 8 to 10 tons of cocaine each. That would be over $1 billion in the water, and Junior and Peter were invited to be in on the load. The subs were managed by different men Chapo and Mayo trusted. Alfredo Vasquez Hernandez was in charge of one of the subs, and he stopped by our house one day to talk to Junior and Peter. "How much do you want to put in?" he asked. "Let's do 1,200, Junior said. The way it worked out, though, is that when Alfredo put the load together, Chapo and Mayo would end up getting 20% or 2 tons for free. You know how much 2 tons is? It's like $20 million for free every time each submarine goes. It sure paid to be the boss. Junior and Peter were responsible for turning in their 1,200 kilos to the Colombians to load onto the sub. To do this, they started working with a close friend named Andy, who was their contact out of Colombia and a part of our extended family. He would purchase, mark, and deposit the work with the people in charge of loading the subs. If the bosses were ever short on kilos, he'd go to Colombia or Panama and put in the difference. Once the subs got to Mexico and were unloaded, guess what the cartels did with them? They'd sink them because they didn't want to risk sending them all the way back. Holy shit, I remember thinking. This is going a little too far. Sure, I knew about the 747s and the tunnels across the border, but submarines were on a whole different level. Only the Navy had submarines. Regular people didn't.
Not no more.
But at that point, we were far from being regular people. Yet we didn't try to change that till we almost lost our lives.
Right. That was chapter 17. Basically, more logistics. Them telling us the state of what the army, and the new leadership in Mexico being brought in, what that looked like, how it made them nervous. We got more logistics, more ways that they move things around, and we got into submarines. Big Chain said, yes, P. Well, shit, tell his ass to holler. Submarines, dog. What you gonna do with a submarine? And not only that, you toss in a submarine. It's a disposable submarine at the end of it. We're gonna make this move, boom. You get your free $20 million worth of work. Here's a submarine, sink the submarine. Done deal. And everything rolling, floating, over water, underwater, in the air, on the ground, in the tunnel. There's just 5 dimensions of work and money. Passing across. Bananas. So that was a short chapter. They didn't really say much. Again, just the army and how that changed things, and it was much more groundbreaking what we read about that dirtbag Saul Rodriguez in the last 2 hours of our conversation. 'Cause that shit was crazy. But yeah, so that's chapter 17. I'll probably break it up in its own video or connect it to 16. We'll see what the time run is looking like on that. And for the rest of the weekend, I'll be just editing and tinkering, trying to get things right. I'm trying to get on all platforms at the same time. Still having my StreamYard situation. I'm trying to get us on StreamYard to where everything's hooked up perfectly, to where I could pop up comments from the chat and have them running across the bottom of the screen, that type of thing. Trying to get us on Twitch and Rumble and everything simultaneously. Instagram, all of that. Just a lot of little things that got to get done, but it is what it is. I also wanted to put y'all up on this. For those that are interested, I'm a fan of the film Blood In, Blood Out, and yesterday I caught a podcast with the owner of Cookies, which is Burner. He did a great podcast with Popeye Saavedra. Give me some choncho. With Magic and with Crucito from Blood In, Blood Out. And it was a great podcast. And they talked about, how they shot things and the experiences on there. And Burner talks about his interest in bringing them all back at the ages that they're at right now to play their own same characters at the age that they are now, which to me is an amazing idea. You got to understand something about Blood In, Blood Out. The movie company bailed on that shit early, and I remember the consequences of that as a kid because it was called Bound by Honor, and then it was called Blood In, Blood Out, and it was in the theater, and then it wasn't in the theater, then you couldn't find it. It wasn't until years later you were able to get it in a DVD form. It was but they're able to tell those stories, which is pretty dope. So I'm going to share that with y'all. I'm going to share that link with y'all in the chat if y'all want to check that out. Made me want to watch the movie instantly because I had a bunch of new information to go with. I knew they had filmed in San Quentin, but I didn't know they had no extras. All the extras they had, and a lot of dudes with speaking roles were real guards and real prisoners, and it changes the dynamic it changes the dynamic. Me thinking about it now, not just as a fan of the movie, me thinking about it now as an actor, it gives me more to pay attention to in the performance. And if those actors, they gave you career-defining performances in that movie. JP the Ghost said classic movie. Ruben Contreras said, I be working and listening to you, bro. Work ain't so bad when I'm here. I be punching the air a lot. You gotta be punching the air, man. Sometimes you gotta get it out somehow. Throw a punch in the air. Throw a punch in the air, hide a little middle finger to the man, and that's it. You good, man. Do it in your mind. If you can't do it physically, in your mind, just give him the finger real quick. Hold on, I'm trying to find this. Here it is, so that I could tag this in here. This is a dope little podcast. It's like 2.5 hours long. It's Burner telling them, listen, get the guy that wrote it, get the guy that directed it. Let's get this money. Let's call Disney. Let's see what we can do. Let's make a part 2. I ain't mad at it. Do it well. Do it thoroughly. I'm all the way with it. Put it right here in the chat. Blood In, Blood Out podcast. So y'all can check that out if you want to. Just a little suggestion from me to you, Val. Again, we also have that at the top of the chat. I have it pinned. Shy Ill Reacts to True Crime playlist. Please, if you get a chance, pop that playlist in. If you're at work and I'm not live, hit that playlist right there. You got 88 videos of me shitting on dumb criminals, dumb cops, ignorant human beings, and all of the above. So please make sure that you check that out. I'd appreciate it. Because those videos don't move as much as the Cartel stuff, and I really want to get the ball rolling on those. I don't want them to be a waste of effort. They're fairly new. It's been 2, 3, 4 months since I made them all, so make sure you check those out. And with that said, y'all can start giving me the 100s in the chat. If you got any questions, let them fly right now. I appreciate y'all for being here. I thank you guys very much. I wouldn't be doing lives if there was nobody in here. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be going through the work of cutting these videos, putting these videos out, getting paid for them, maybe not getting paid for them. I wouldn't be going through none of that if there was nobody, if nobody was here for them, but y'all are here for them. And me knowing that y'all are here for them lets me know that there's other people out there that are going to be here for them. You know what I mean? That this, it's not like it's for no one. This is for somebody. Somebody wants to come check this out. So I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all very much for being here. Hunters in the chat. Salute the thing like a kingpin. Let me see who's at the top over here. We had PR Black. 030 North, Old Soul, JP the Ghost, El Cacico, William Luther, salutes to you, sir. JP the Ghost again, Junior. Who else? Raven Jefferson, salutes to you. Ariza, salutes to you, per usual. 030 North, per usual. J-Rock 817 BOS, salutes to you. Ruben Contreras, always, respect. Jonathan Pantoja, respect. Yayo, salutes to you. Big Changs, appreciate you being here. Thank you for coming through. And that's it. The rest is the usual suspects. Shy, what was the scene in the Shy when you was coming up? Did you ever see the effects of these stories? Yeah, a lot of it. Now, looking at these stories, it makes me think about a lot of things. It makes me think about prices. You know what I'm saying? How things would change. People that were connected. How the chain happened of people that are no longer here connected so many people that are still together to this day. Yeah, dog, there was a lot of different shit. There's a lot of people that are gone by now. You know what I'm saying? That, let me tell you, some of the gangsters, dudes that I've ever known, the biggest psychopath lunatics that are unalive, anything, them dudes died of natural causes. You know what I'm saying? Unhealthy living. You know what I mean? But it was a different scene, man. It was a different time. All the way around, everything was connected at that time. The connection from the gangs to music to drugs to everything was just plugged. Everybody was in the same club. We was all in the same places, doing the same things. And these dibbled and dabbled there, and those dabbled and dibbled there. It was a scene to behold, bro. Again, it was a bloody time as well, because not everybody died just from being unhealthy. It was a bloody time. It was a bloody time. But yeah. Me, I mentally check out, like there's a lot of it in the music. It all come out in the music. I'm indifferent here. Here I'm at the age that I'm at now, and it's like I'm listening to these stories. I'm just like a dude being entertained by a movie. They could have been from anywhere. It's the reason I picked the story was because it was so close to home. You know what I'm saying? But there were lifelong connections that were made, that only happened because this story happened. You know what I'm saying? Like my time with DMX, my Bob Marley moments, my Jimi Hendrix moments, I would have never had them with DMX if it wasn't for this story happening. That's just facts. So it's crazy to see it in that mentality. Like, wow, look how this affected this person and that person. And I know that person's connected to this too. And I look at that person doesn't even know that they're connected to this, what happened over here. You know what I'm saying? I've learned a lot. I've learned, about how many rumors I was hearing coming up that was bullshit, that now, as a grown man, I could differentiate the truth from the lie. And we've done a lot of deducting here together and figuring things out. So, it's crazy to see how it reverberates through time. The story does. So, respect to you, salutes to you. I appreciate everyone for being here. I hope you guys have a great night. Remember, playlist is tagged at the top of the chat, and right there at the bottom we got the Blood In Blood Out podcast on Burner's channel. Salute to him. I appreciate y'all. Let me find some music to get out of here with. I'll be back soon. Maybe January 1st, maybe January 2nd. Y'all have a safe new year. Most places are offering free public transportation, so no drinking and driving out there. Be cool. Keep your temper. Keep your head. Don't let nobody trick you off the street on New Year's Eve. Be safe out there. Be careful. The wolves will be out. Head on a swivel. You make the first move. You know what I'm saying? And, keep yourself and your family safe, man. Happy New Year to everybody. If I don't talk to y'all before then, I appreciate y'all. It's been a hell of a ride, and it's just starting. So thank you guys very much.
There is a world to enjoy.
But the biggest one of all is no drinking and driving. Don't trick yourself. Don't trick yourself. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. I'm putting my hundreds up here. Bam, 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 bam. That's my hundreds right there. I'm going to go here and move this over to here. And we're going to get out of here on this note right here. Peace.
Running away, no one is there, no one to save us, nothing to spare. How can I change what? We landed here. It's not the same, son, this is despair. One of us came up, none of us cared. They want to change up, life isn't fair. It's how we made, huh? Now you aware. It's why you fear us, this why you scared. They over the hilltop, I see them right there. They'll wait for the kill shot, they'll sit and they'll stare. If we got a real shot for us, it's up there. We're hopeless if we stop, they'll kill us right here. Living in death's den, run through the best winds, storming the front gates. Whatever gets us in, whatever gets us over, whatever helps us win, whatever we must do. Rescuing our kids, as long as they get through it, don't matter if we live. God chose to bless you, I'll take all that death gives. I'm into this war ends, in memory of dead friends, in hope of a new way when all of this death ends. Who can we call on? It's me and it's all y'all. We're here by our lonesome, nobody to fall on. Flesh in the dirt, fire to ashes, fate getting closer every moment that passes. Running away, no one is there, no one to save us, nothing to spare. How can I change what? We landed here. It's not the same, son, this is despair. One of us came up, none of us cared. They want to change up, life isn't fair. It's how we made, huh? Now you aware. It's why you fear us, this why you scared. Show me a safe place, does it exist? It must be a wasteland where nobody lives, that nobody knows of, where nobody's been. Where we at is warfare, every kind you can get. What you can't get is real love and fucking respect. Set up for failure, a life of neglect. If none of us stand up, we'll live with regrets. If we rise, we might die, I call that a good death. What would I live for if I am oppressed? How can I raise up with the world on my chest? Who's gonna save us if you and I rest? They shoot us in cold blood when under arrest. Lock us in cold cells, consider it home now. Cut off from emotion, our feelings are stone now. Our buildings are blown out, the madness is so loud. It's dark and there's no sound, we gotta go now. Running away, no one is there, no one to save us, nothing to spare. How can I change what? We landed here. It's not the same, son, this is despair. One of us came up, none of us cared. They want to change up, life isn't fair. It's how we made, huh? Now you aware. It's why you fear us, this why you scared. The illness is prevalent, natives malevolent. Hunger, starvation now, no hope for a heaven sent. Kiss the babies goodbye, say I love you to wives. Grab your weapons, get your steps in, we gon' ride when it rises. The sun mean what when it's blinding your eyes? Put the wind to your back, leave them facing the sky. Put the pain in the dirt, raise your bloody fist high. Use your brain, do the work, strategize and survive. The rush of the dust up, the thrill of the gun buzz. The satisfaction of our reaction when there's no one to help us. The spoils of war, the hunger for more. The passion of how we smash it, what we hate through the floor. The rage, the loneliness of dead on the page. To cleanse this land, gotta burn more than just sage. Crush the cage, body and soul unafraid. Kill them all and set them ablaze. No running away, no one is there, no one to save us, nothing to spare. How can I change what? We landed here. It's not the same, son, this is despair. One of us came up, none of us cared. They want to change up, life isn't fair.